He's not hearing anything.
It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
For the second time, the Vince Lombardi Trophy is headed to Philadelphia. Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions for the second time, 40-22. They take down the Chiefs. How about them Eagles?
You got to love it.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
They routed the Chiefs 40-22.
How you feeling this morning, Roc?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't partake in, beverages as much as I would have liked to.
You didn't go overboard, is that what you're saying?
No, I could have, but unfortunately, my night didn't work out that way. But
your eyes are red.
As I told you, before the show started, sometimes you run into people that you don't want to run into.
That's unfortunate that you did to top off your night. You got to deal with something like that. I mean, that's the kind of thing you go, okay, you're having a great night. All things are going very, very well. And the next thing you know, you got to deal with whatever, confrontation or those kind of things. And I think from that particular standpoint, a lot of folks, look at those kind of things and go, wow, okay, so you won, you're ecstatic. Folks in Philadelphia, they have like close to, 150,000 people in the streets of Philadelphia that came out. And I think those are a couple of things when you look at this Philadelphia Eagles team, talk about the folks coming out to support, is this team, if they came out just guns a-blazing with this defense. What, they have 25 sacks on
6.
Give or take. It seemed like 25. The hurries, the pressures, the sacks. And I will say that it's very rare you see Andy Reid get out coached like you got out coached, but I think that he got outmanned, he got out coached, and they just got outplayed, that being the Chiefs.
It was a good old-fashioned Super Bowl blowout, the kind that you used to see in the 80s and the 90s, which have become rare in the National Football League now.
That was probably the best. There's two games I can think of as far as defensive Super Bowl performances. And number one would be with the Bears when they smoked the New England Patriots, just shut them out, shut them down. And then when the Baltimore Ravens just crushed the New York Giants. I mean, it wasn't even close. And I think that you think about the Giants finally got some yards at the end of the game. But those two games, as far as defensive smackdowns, shutdowns, total dominance, were two that I can think of.
It was like, everything went right for the Philadelphia Eagles. Everything. It was like they were playing Madden. And everything just went like they planned. And the Chiefs had to chase. I mean, they were chasing history to start it, but then they had to chase from the get-go. And the way that this started with the offensive pass interference to start the game, I was like, oh, here we go. The refs are going to control this one. But they got that one out of the way. And then it ends up being the greatest victory, the greatest season in Philadelphia history, and especially in football, in the city of brotherly love. And now is Jalen Hurts. Why is he not in the conversation with Jamar, with Josh Allen, and Burrow?
You mean Lamar?
He's not
Lamar
He's not
Jackson.
Flashy. That's why.
Well,
But he
you
was
can make a
flashy
case
when he had to be.
But Josh is he's the
I know.
MVP.
Yep.
He hasn't won a Super Bowl.
No.
If you looked at Jalen Hurts' numbers 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, no interceptions, a touchdown, threw over 300 yards. Numbers were outstanding. Again, what he did yesterday, numbers were outstanding. Granted, he didn't throw for 300 yards, but he rushed for close to 100 yards.
I think a lot of it, Roc, is he's just not flashy about what he does.
Yeah.
He just wins.
Think
about
yeah.
that.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, just wins. I think now he's as far as big game quarterbacks in today's game, he's in the top 5.
I'm with you.
He's
Dude,
totally
I
top
am.
5. I
Yeah.
mean,
But why wasn't he top 5 going in?
You know what? I think of the first Super Bowl run he made, and then it fell short last year. I think last year losing those 6 in a row not that it knocked him down a peg, but I think it kind of went, okay, Jalen, you did it 2 years ago. You guys suffered last year, but he brought him back this year. And I think a lot of that, guys, was just getting things situated with your head coach, your offensive coordinator, and being on the same page. The kid's always been an outstanding quarterback. Now it's just a matter of getting to the Super Bowl, winning that Super Bowl. I mean, he's won, 2 NFC championships, comes back and gets his first Super Bowl win. So I think he's always been an outstanding quarterback. And maybe the numbers haven't been flashy enough for him to win, but I think you win. And that's all that matters. You talked to a lot of these guys.
But there's validation yesterday.
Absolutely.
And he practically was perfect. 17 to 22, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception where he got hit, right?
Right, yep.
Rushed for 72 yards and a touchdown. He leaves the game with less than 3 minutes left, gets, of course, a standing O on that. And now, in just his 5th season, he joins your favorite 2 quarterbacks, Joe Namath and Joe Montana, as have won the FBS championship and a Super Bowl as starters. There's only 3 guys that have done that.
And that's the amazing thing. The other 2 is when you think about the greatness of Joe Montana, the 4 Super Bowl wins, all wins, not 1 interception in those 4 Super Bowls. That's what's amazing to me. And then Joe Willie, the story behind that was to be a 19-point dog and come back and win that game. But I think what they did in the NFC Championship game, that being Philadelphia, and what they did with Jalen Hurts to allow him to throw more, Saquon Barkley have that full game. Because, look, guys, I will say this. They shut down Barkley yesterday being the Chiefs.
They did. They did a really good job.
It was his passing, his running, and him controlling the clock. The thing is, as far as third down conversions were concerned, neither team had great third down conversions. But the thing that Jalen Hurts did is he kept some drives going alive. They had the football 37 minutes. And a lot of that was about Jalen Hurts making some key completions, some key throws, and then some key scrambles during that game.
I think the biggest story has got to be the defense.
Absolutely.
And Fangino take over a team that was 26 last year. Epic turnaround. The first half numbers, 24-0. He shuts him out, that defense. Chiefs ran 20 plays for 23 yards and 2 turnovers and a pick 6. First downs, 13-1. Total yards, 179-23. Eagles had 3 sacks. I mean, the Kansas City had 7 drives of 20 plays, and they can only get 23 yards. They came out ready. They had their foot on the gas, and that went all the way into the third quarter, and we have third quarter numbers we'll give you too. The fact that they scored, 22, whatever it ended up being, it's all garbage anyway.
Yeah,
complete garbage.
A couple deep throws there that he had there to
at the end.
At the very end.
To
Worthy. But here's the thing. That pass rush with just 4 guys.
They never blitzed.
They never blitzed.
No. Never blitzed.
They rushed 4 the entire game. They rushed 3 and 4. So when you drop 7 or 8 guys into coverage, I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes, whoever you are, it's extremely difficult to find your receivers. But all that being said, hey, Andy Reid, how about a draw? How about a screen? How about a slip screen? How about a quick pass? Where's your hot routes? Who's doing your slide adjust? It was like you were trying to go down the field, and that's not their game, especially with that pass rush. Because after a while, even Patrick Mahomes, the great Patrick Mahomes, had his eyes on the rush, and his eyes weren't down the field. You could see him. He was a little nervous back there, dropping back.
They put so much pressure on Mahomes. It was reminiscent, and you referenced it quickly, of what the Tampa Bay defense did to them when they played them.
Same exact thing.
Same exact formula.
And the thing there was, this time around, they had all their entire offensive line was healthy.
Right.
That Tampa Bay game, not to make excuses, their 2 tackles were out. So you had 1 rookie and 1 journeyman at the other tackle, but this defensive line was pushing this offensive line into the face of Patrick Mahomes as well, too. That's why Andy Reid, Nick Fangio did something that a lot of guys have never really done with Andy Reid. That's confuse him, out-coach him, out-maneuver him, and out-personnel him. And if you got that kind of rush, how about we go max protect? How about we keep an extra guy in there, put another tight end in there, or have your running back stay in there? How about Pacheco or Hunter just block so you can try to get that ball down the field? But therein lies the good coverage they had down the field along with the pass rush.
What's interesting is the Philadelphia Eagles, if you didn't watch them much this year, they were a team that really struggled in the first quarter. I mean, really struggled. 1.3 points was their average scoring, average in first quarters, which was ranked 792nd out of 796 teams since 2000. How big is that? Now, when they got to the playoffs, it then went to 13.3. But the regular season was 1.3. But you got to give Sirianni a lot of credit for him to be able to get these guys motivated. They came out. It was a business trip, and they went to town.
Right,
and they dominated.
They were screaming. Philly fans were screaming for Sirianni's head about halfway through the season. They wanted him gone.
The mantra was, you're not going to win three-peat on our watch. That was their mantra. They were fired up that nobody's going to win 3 in a row on our watch. And they came out bound and determined. They were all over the place, putting the pressure on them. 2 picks by Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's very rare. And he looked out of sorts. Travis Kelce looked out of sorts. I mean, this entire passing game looked out of sorts. And a lot of that is basically was due to the pass rush.
All right, coming up, we are going to take you back to yesterday, to the sounds of the big game, the Super Bowl, as you'll hear the local call in Philadelphia, Merrill Reese, who came on our program twice in the last 2 weeks with the Philadelphia Eagles. You hear the Fox call, our play of the game, our runner-up player of the game. You'll hear from Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, some Chiefs sound we have, and if we have some time, there was this little golf tournament in our backyard too. So we'll get into that next. We're just getting started. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B right here on ESPN 620.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me
Jimmy B to give you their top plays and sounds of the weekend on ESPN 620 and 98.7 HD2.
All right, we want to thank Weekapaw Casino and Resort for hosting us yesterday. After 25 years at another casino, we moved up to Weekapaw Casino and Resort, and boy, did we have a great time. And want to thank everybody that came out. We didn't expect to fill it like we did. We probably had 100 people more than we expected. Mm-hmm. The sports book was packed as well, so people got an opportunity to head up to Weekapaw Casino and Resort, which, you know, I had a lot of people, some of our regulars that said, oh, it's only one more mile than where they went before, or 2 more miles. It was like really not much. And they said it was worth it, especially when we were doing $4 Dos Equis. Well, actually, if you bought a bucket, 4, it was $3.50. I mean, where can you get a beer that cheap? And the food was outstanding. The walking tacos
really
was good.
Was.
Yep.
You guys had never had those before, had you?
I'd never had them.
They're so good.
They are good. And I'm just going to say one thing because Rock won't. It was put together amazingly well by you, Rock. And I tip my cap to you. Everyone that was there loved your presentation along with Manuch, and it worked tremendously well for Weekapaw. So a tip of the cap to you,
I
pal.
thought for the first time out of the chute, it was pretty good, Rock.
It really was.
Yeah, we
had
had 25 years of experience.
Exactly.
I know, but it's a different location.
And what's interesting, we're here at ESPN 620, and next to us is 98.7, and the promotion started with Ron Wolfley and I. It was Wolf
Way
and I,
back.
and before that,
Way back.
we did a quick little stint with a guy named Bill Lewis when it was Rock and Lou. Then went to Rock and Wolf. So we had started this many years ago, and I saw him in the hallway, and I said, "Dude, you're not going to believe what we did. We moved where we were for 25 years and moved to the Weekapaw." He's like, "Oh my gosh, it's still going. It's great.
Still going.
And It was a great time, and a lot of people won some money. I know I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I did.
Rock, while we're on that subject, and I know we need to get to the sounds, but when you came in, I heard jingle jangle in your pocket. Could you explain a little bit on how well you did?
Football and golf?
And golf, yeah.
Well, first of all, I took the Eagles to win the Super Bowl back in July.
Okay.
So I bet that on DraftKings. And I will tell you, I did cash out early. I cashed out 2 weeks ago, and I won a lot of money by cashing out because they give you the ability to cash out early so they don't have to pay you all the money. So, I cashed out well there. And then I bet 1.5 on DraftKings to win.
Yeah.
And then it would drop to a point at the sports book at Weekapaw, and then I bet it again. Now, unfortunately, I forgot I did that. So I now have to drive back out to Weekapaw and cash my ticket for a few $100. But that's okay. It's worth the drive, even though I only live 20 minutes. I only live 20 minutes.
From there.
But where I really did well was the WM Open. I had run into, when we were at DraftKings last Monday, I ran into a former caddy who had caddied the qualifying rounds.
Okay.
And he said to me, he goes, Thomas Dietrich is what all the caddies are talking about.
Wow.
And I said, really? And sure enough, I bet him to win. I bet him just $10, and he was plus 9,000.
Wow.
Was it 9,000 or 900?
I think it was
9,000.
Wow.
I need Jackson for help. Then I bet top 5 with Thomas, and then him. And then again, I did top 10. So I did top 5, top 10, and win all. Now, I was out there on Friday, and he was leading. He was leading by like 4, and I cashed out then.
Wow.
Just because I'm like, he's not going to be able to carry this into Sunday.
Right.
But I'll keep the 5 and keep the 10. And sure enough, he wins the whole tournament.
Right.
And he runs away with the tournament like the Eagles ran away with the Super Bowl. And I just did really, really well.
So you were due, Rock.
And can I just top it off by this?
Sure.
One more thing I did?
Yeah, go for it.
So, and Jax knows this. I like penny slots. And I got a couple of machines I like. And I literally put $20 in the machine yesterday. And I bet $3 on the spin. Nothing. Did it again. Nothing. Boom. And the machine went nuts. Like the Eagles sit on the teams. I mean, blew up.
Yeah.
Walked with another $700.
Wow.
So
well, you're buying tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say.
serious. I did. But, and then I won Ohio State. So like Jax points out, I'm having a good year.
You
to
are,
start.
Rock. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've done well. But here's the thing. Everybody gets a taste of victory, right? But there's there's the agony of defeat as well, which will come during March Madness. I'll lose my ass. So I'm going to bet UConn or Houston or somebody. I'll lose.
So you're net effective as far as gambling. You're way up right now.
Yeah, I'm
You're
way up. I basically have my money for football season ready.
Wow.
Good for you.
For 2025
That's
because I
awesome.
start with so much,
Yeah.
and I'm clearly there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did well.
That boy, Luther. Good job there, Rock.
All right, let's get to our sounds. This is I grew up listening to him. Born in Philadelphia, grew up in South Jersey. Merrill Reese. He's been there since 1977. Here is the Eagles' final radio call of Super Bowl 59.
It's over. The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. It's their second Super Bowl win in 7 years. What a game. What a season. What a team. The greatest Eagles team in modern history. Eagles fans, savor it and rejoice.
And if that wasn't a good call, I thought the Fox final call was pretty good as well. Here's the final call from Fox, Super Bowl 59.
One more knee, and the Eagles fans, and there are a lot of them in attendance, are on their feet. For the second time, the Vince Lombardi Trophy is headed to Philadelphia. Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59.
Which call did you like better?
Merrill Reese, just the style, the projection, just that voice of his. It just got that sincerity all over. I love Merrill Reese. Listen to that call.
He's the hometown broadcaster,
They're
so
always the
everybody's going to.
It's
take
interesting
that.
though. The couple of critical calls
Yes.
that Tom Brady criticized, that interference call initially. There was another one too. I think it was Bolton. His hit on was it late? Trying to think on Barkley. Yeah, it was a hit. It's kind of a and then
It was a late hit on, but he pushed him.
he pushed it. And then the other one too, when the defensive back for the Chiefs would have knocked the ball away from the tight end, he inadvertently his helmet kind of tapped, and they called that one too. How about Tom Brady? I wonder if he's going to get a call from Roger Goodell. Hey, can't be critiquing the officials now.
The play of the game, I think if you're an Eagles fan or you had money on the game and you were an Eagles fan, it was this pick six by the rookie and birthday boy, Cooper DeJean.
It is 3rd and 16 for the Chiefs. Facing the staunchest defense of the season. Back goes Mahomes. He's rushing. He's looking. It's intercepted. Running with the football to the 25. Down the far side is DeJean. And DeJean is in for a touchdown. Happy birthday, Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean with a pick for a touchdown.
Only 22 years old. He returns at 38 yards. First player to ever do that, to intercept a pass or score on his birthday. He didn't end up winning the Super Bowl MVP honors. Of course, that went to Jalen Hurts, but it was probably the most important play of the game. I mean, the kid had a great year. He's from Iowa, defensive rookie of the year. He was fourth in voting. Fellow Eagle who had a great game, corner Quentin Mitchell. He was second. I mean, you look at what the Eagles did this year in their offseason. Their first 3 picks were instrumental in that game yesterday and in the playoffs.
Well, they gave short field to the offense.
Yeah, but Howie Roseman as a general manager has done a phenomenal job with that team.
Oh, he's picking up A.J. Brown and, of course, Barkley. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback just a few years ago. He's one of the best.
That pick came right after the interception by Hurts. So they're coming out of the end zone, and as he's rolling off to his right side, being Mahomes, he doesn't see DeJean kind of fall up underneath the coverage. So he's trying to come back across. He gets that pick 6 right after the turnover. Bang, a turnover, which you think they'd go down the field. He turns into a touchdown.
So here is the second best play in the game, and this is where Hurts just threw it well to the Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith.
Hurts back, looking. He is going deep, and it is caught. Touchdown!
The Slim Reaper.
Devontae Smith, 46 yards.
The Slim Reaper. So you got a sudden change. You force them to turn it over on downs, and on the very first play, you line up the Slim Reaper on the left side.
Again, credit to WIP in Philadelphia. While Terry Bradshaw was interviewing Coach Nick Sirianni, Nick dropped an S-bomb on live TV while he was talking about his offensive coordinator, Kelvin Moore, former offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Here is that clip with the clip beaked.
That's a team. That's a team and the greatest team sport. And your coordinators, I thought, both offensive and defensive, Fangio, and then Kellen Moore were outstanding today.
Yeah, Kellen, let's run this. Let's run this back, Kellen. Let's run this back.
Congratulations, Coach.
He's going to be the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints, rightfully so.
So he was asked, Nick Sirianni was asked on getting revenge against the Chiefs from two years ago in the Super Bowl. Here's what he had to say.
Revenge is served sweet when you got a big old good butt whooping over the team that hurt you 2 years ago. How good does this feel, knowing that you beat the Chiefs who beat you 2 years ago?
Yeah, all glory to God, first and foremost. But that's a great football team. And we had to come out and play our best, and we did. And what a lesson to the entire world of what good teamwork does. We have selfless guys. We have guys that don't want to let each other down. We got guys that will fight for each other, that will play hurt for each other. They love each other. Love is a strong thing, and it takes a lot of work to develop that. And these guys, that's a team. That's a team in the greatest team sport there is.
Nick Sirianni, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think he's going to start getting a little bit more credit now. The fact that he has been to the Super Bowl twice in 4 seasons.
Well, I think a lot of people just that have questioned his motives is within the team, outside of the team, need to just trust him as far as moving over. And if Kellen Moore does take that job, which it sounds like he will in New Orleans, it's finding another offensive coordinator very similar to what he wants. And I think a lot of that is Nick Sirianni's handprint on top of that offense. So I just think, hey, look, they were 28 seconds away from winning that one 2 years ago, right? So they, could have easily have won every other, 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. So they're still they're not going to go anywhere soon.
All right, coming up, we're going to catch up with former NFL and Sun Devil Rudy Carpenter, get his thoughts on yesterday's Super Bowl, especially the quarterback position. But first, here's Jax with a local sports update right here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620 and 98.7 HD2.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's bottom of the hour ESPN 620 Sports Update, sponsored by Twin Peaks Sweethearts Week. I'm Jackson Groff. The Arizona Wildcats jumped up 7 spots to 13 in the latest AP Top 25 men's basketball rankings released earlier today. Arizona made the big leap after this week's AP poll, securing wins over BYU and number 12 Texas Tech. Led by guard Caleb Love, led the charge in both victories, averaging 17 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists and a steal across those 2 games. Thomas Dietrich, your winner, I should say, of the Phoenix Open, securing his first PGA Tour win. In the 26 and 26, Phoenix Suns will host the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow night before heading to Houston to face the Rockets on Wednesday. After that, they'll have an 8-day break heading into the All-Star break, which kicks off this Friday. It's a Sweethearts costume party all week long at the 5 Valley locations in Twin Peaks. We hope to see you there.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's learning environments are designed for supportive networking and collaboration. With over 330 academic programs, GCU provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. On 977-1900. 977-1900.
Sun Devil men's and women's basketball are ready for a Big 12 showdown. The jihad at the left elbow bounces to Blake. It's cutting on the left baseline for a slam dunk. Catch Sun Devil men's and women's basketball for a hoops doubleheader Saturday, February 15th, when the Sun Devil women play host to Utah at 2 p.m., followed by the Sun Devil men's basketball team at 6 p.m. when they take on the TCU Horned Frogs. Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
RockForWhiteToyota.com.
At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website.
All is former Sun Devil and NFL quarterback Rudy Carpenter, who went 3-0 against that team in Tucson.
Deep ball again by Rudy Carpenter. He reads it in zone coverage, gets behind the safety.
Rudy Carpenter now on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Hurts back, looking. He is going deep, and it is caught. Touchdown!
The Slim Reaper.
Devontae Smith, 46 yards.
The Slim Reaper. So you got a
All right, WIP with the call there. Jalen Hurts, the MVP. He's in Disney World today. Is it Disneyland or Disney World? I never know.
Disney World.
Disney World.
That's where he is.
Rudy Carpenter joins us down the right to the guest on here on ESPN 620. I want to ask you right out of the gate, Rudy, did Jalen Hurts validate himself to you as a top 3 quarterback in the National Football League with that performance?
Wow.
Top three.
That's I'm such a hypocrite because I always talk about, when you're judging quarterbacks, that the wins and losses should be one of the top metrics as to how you judge a quarterback, and that winning and losing is all that matters. And, in that, with that judgment, with that, piece, I should say that Jalen Hurts is absolutely solidified as a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, I think this is also his first Super Bowl win, but I think it's his second Super Bowl appearance, right?
Yes.
And he's done a great job taking over that team, but I have a hard time saying that he's a top 3 quarterback. I guess my viewpoint is, if you put him on the Buffalo Bills, do the Buffalo Bills improve with him, or are they better with Josh Allen? I think Josh Allen. If you put him on the Ravens, are the Ravens better with Hurts or Lamar Jackson? I think Lamar Jackson. I would even go all the way down to the Rams. You put Jalen Hurts on the Rams, who's better for the Rams than that team and that offense? Jalen Hurts or Matthew Stafford? I think Matthew Stafford. So I just think that, unfortunately, Jalen Hurts is probably always going to be undervalued, and he's probably always going to be underappreciated because of idiots like me on the radio just saying what I said. But I think ultimately, Jalen Hurts is a benefactor or a beneficiary or whatever words you want to use to a very, 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 very well put together team. And I think that's what all the pundits miss, is that when playing quarterback, it's such a difficult position, and you are so dependent on the players around you. And Jalen Hurts has a great, great, great supporting staff, a bunch of very good players around him. And ultimately, I just think that Jalen Hurts is the perfect quarterback for that team and that offense and that team's overall philosophy.
And I think also, Rudy, when you looked at that game, I mean, this Chiefs team was bound and determined to stop the run. They were going to force Jalen Hurts to beat them, and he did. But I thought the way he managed the pocket as far as the effectiveness, his efficiency, throwing the football, and the only one that he really forced, I don't know if he forced, he got hit on that one interception. But in these big games, he seems to look back at 2 years ago in that Super Bowl. Had a hell of a Super Bowl game. If it wasn't for Pat Mahomes, he might have won that one as well, too. But I think his effectiveness and his efficiency in these big games is what stands out to me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think, and I also think this too, the way that game played out yesterday, sometimes, I mean, I've been a part of games, before that are like that too. And I'm not saying the Super Bowl level, but I mean, I remember, and again, it didn't happen yesterday, but I remember, I played in a game one time, we played UCLA and UCLA, I think our team literally had 4 interceptions that all got returned for touchdowns. Wow. We scored 28 points on defense, something crazy like that. And it's as great as that was, as awesome as that was for our defense, it was very, very, very difficult for our offense to do anything that game and to get on pace and to get on rhythm and to really find any success, because it was there were so many long periods we didn't have the ball, or the game plan was drastically changed because we were getting the ball, in our own territory or, down in the red area or whatever it may be. And it just totally mixed everything up. And I kind of think that happened a little bit yesterday to the Eagles because of the field position game, because of a couple of the turnovers, interceptions, the one return for a touchdown, different things, I think, led to a bunch of scenarios and or situations in which it just threw off the Eagles offense and the way that they were, trying to attack and their game plan. And, point being is they just adjusted and it was good things, that happened to them and kind of forced the offense not to really be able to get in this incredible rhythm. But it looked like it messed everybody up, to be honest, obviously the Chiefs too. But to me, I just think that's where this team and Howie Roseman has done such a great job. And I think that's where Jalen Hurts has done such a great job. And I think that it should get talked about a lot more. Jalen Hurts dealing with the personalities that he's dealing with, not just the players, but also his head coach. I just think that Jalen and his leadership style and his personality and his calmness, he's collected. He doesn't overreact. He's a very humble guy. You can tell that he doesn't care about stats, things of that nature. He's just there to win. And I just think when you have a quarterback who's like that, I just think it takes a lot of pressure off everybody else. And for Jalen, he's not concerned if I throw for this many yards and this many touchdowns and we have this stats or whatever. He's just a guy that's if I got to turn around and hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley 100 times this game, I'm going to do that. If we have to do 25 different pushes for first downs or touchdowns, I'm going to do that. I just want to make sure that we win the football game. And I think from a skill standpoint, but also a personality and a leadership standpoint, I just think that Jalen Hurts is perfect for that Philadelphia Eagles football team.
Rudy Carpenter's our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Rudy, you stood behind an offensive line on many occasions, and the defensive pressure came at you, and it was tremendously immense. And then you had to deal with that. You saw Patrick Mahomes running for his life now on almost every play You didn't expect him to wilt, but he eventually did. How does that impact a starting quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes in your situation when you have that rush after you on every passing down?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, without a doubt, it is incredibly difficult to play when, the pass rush is hitting home. Even if the pass rush, even if you're able to get the ball out of your hands, but you're still getting hit, it's just a subtle reminder all the time that pass rush is close. And whenever you're able to upset the timing, you're able to affect the anticipation, you're able to affect the accuracy. It's just incredibly difficult, to execute plays like that. I think the best example of that all time is, maybe not all time, but in recent memory is the New York Giants and that defensive line when they were going up against Tom Brady. That defensive line did such a great job of getting Tom out of rhythm, getting Tom off his spot, making him move around, making him uncomfortable, really disrupting everything that he wanted to do. And that was their only chance that they had to win the football game. And I think it's the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. If you don't knock him off his spot, if you don't disrupt his rhythm, if you don't, force him to be very, very, very uncomfortable, it's going to be really difficult to win a game. And again, it's why I'm going to go back to say, and what I've been saying for a long time is you have to give Howie Roseman a lot of credit as the GM, just like you have to give Brett Beach of the Kansas City Chiefs a lot of credit. I mean, with Howie Roseman, though, he's done an incredible job building that team from the inside out, from the offensive line out to the skill guys. And then, of course, on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, look at all the picks that the Philadelphia Eagles have invested in offensive linemen and defensive line. And that defensive line, has been incredible. They talked about it last night during the game. Not only has Howie Roseman hit on the draft picks and hit on the offensive line and hit on the defensive line, most notably Jalen Carter and those guys, but he also has done a great job in free agency, going to get the linebacker Zach Bond, who had the interception last night, on a 1-year deal. That was a guy who had his hand in the ground last year, rushing the passers, now standing up playing Mike linebacker, who made an incredible catch last night. And then going to trade, for guys obviously like the kid, A.J. Brown, the wide receiver out of Clemson. I mean, every single move he's made, drafting the guys he's drafted, trading for the guys he's traded for, signing the free agents he's signed, and then going to get, Jalen Hurts picked where he was picked, and him being now a Super Bowl winning quarterback and an MVP in the Super Bowl. I mean, Howie Roseman has done a great job building that football team and deserves a lot of credit for it.
Yeah, I think the folks in Philly may give him a statue.
Oh, absolutely.
After what he's been able to do over the last few years. Hey, Rudy, as always, buddy, thank you so much. Appreciate you, and have yourself a good week.
All right, guys, take care. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Rudy Carpenter joining us here on ESPN 620. It's brought to you today by All City Towing. We talk about it every day. They are hiring. They are always hiring. They are growing like crazy. They are the biggest towing company in the state. All types of positions are open to you right now. So if you're ready to take your career to the next challenge in this 2025, visit them online at allcitytowing.com. That's All City Towing, where your future is on the move. Well, coming up, Tom Brady earned some mixed reviews for his first Super Bowl call. And Taylor Swift, she gets booed at the Super Bowl. You're listening to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B right here on ESPN 620 and on FM, that is, at 98.7 HD2.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
So Fox TV analyst Tom Brady, he seemed comfortable, he seemed prepared, he seemed knowledgeable, right? That's what we expect in his first Super Bowl call. When Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown was called for pass interference on that 4th and 2 from midfield, he goes, "Oh, don't like that one bit."
Wow, Tom.
And then as the game got out of hand, if you remember, he started then getting into story time, and leveraging all that experience that he has, which I got to respect the
Sure
go.
you do.
You got to respect the go. You may not like it.
I got to say, guys, at one point, Tom started talking about, I know I was down 28-3 at one point to the Falcons. And then just never followed it up. I was like, what are you going to say,
didn't say
Tom?
what he did. He didn't say any of that stuff.
It was just cricket.
The thing is like, I can't remember. I saw something today. He was being interviewed with somebody, and it was a replay of something over this past week where he said, he is the smartest quarterback of all time because the way he prepped, the way he prepared, and that he knew that the Chiefs defense better than the Chiefs knew their defense. And I'm like, come on. Dude.
And that might be true coming from Tom Brady.
I get it, but I mean, his insight's great. Sometimes it's a little overdone, I think. But
why do you think people then trash him on social media just because they can?
I didn't see anybody trashing.
Yeah, no, he gets trashed.
Was he?
Yeah.
No, I think it was mixed. Like I said, it was mixed reviews. I think some people liked him, some people didn't. I could carry the way. I don't get caught up in the color analysts. I'm all about the play-by-play guy because that's what I want to hear. The color analyst doesn't do anything to me.
Well, I think what Tom does, whatever. I think Tom
that's true.
I think he was very succinct. He's gotten very succinct his last several games of getting to it. But I think he kind of wandered off at times. If you're going to tell the story, about being down 28-3 in the Super Bowl, hey,
then tell it.
And it can happen. Hey, this is how we did it.
But he didn't do that.
No, he didn't. He kind of stopped.
He did
I think sometimes he kind of catches himself that, I don't want to boast about myself. Boast. You're one of the greatest of all time. Talk about how you guys came back, how this Chiefs team can come back.
But then people will just trash him even more.
You can't worry about it.
No.
You can't worry about that.
I'm with you, Manuch. Yeah.
You can't worry about that. Just
He
tell the
boasts
story.
all the time. I think he's got such a big head now.
I don't think so at all.
This past week, and everything they did at Fox, it was all Tom Brady and Gronk, and it was a little overdone.
But if they've got the guys from their networks, one of the greatest of all time, they're going to utilize them and use them the entire time.
But
they have to.
Sometimes you don't need to use them that much. It's like just a little bit. He doesn't need to be. It doesn't have to be the Tom. It doesn't need to be all about Tom Brady. I mean, here we are taking a whole segment talking about Tom Brady. It shouldn't be about him. It should be about the game.
I think for a lot of folks, he's an iconic figure.
He is.
So they're going to listen to him. They're going to see him.
Yep.
And he was in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 different type commercials, or at the beginning, the same thing with the same people, all that. So I think Fox took that to a new level. Yes. But I would guarantee you, if he was working for CBS or anybody else, they do the same thing.
It's called marketing.
Absolutely.
Rock, you know that. You know that as well as anybody. It's marketing.
Yeah, but there's also a little bit too much marketing work back.
I get that, but as Manuch says, he is Tom freaking Brady.
No, I get it. Any PR is good PR, right? You can say that. Several people posted video of Taylor Swift getting booed yesterday, and they had her on the Jumbotron. And that's when people started that's when they started booing, and she was unaware of what was going on. Here's how it sounded. What was great is she got booed big time, and I was surprised. Not surprised. I was kind of happy that we had the first sitting president to attend the Super Bowl, and he wasn't booed, which you would have thought maybe he would.
That was a mixed bag.
That was not a mixed bag at all. What were you watching? Does the CNN have it on?
Yeah. Did they maybe pump a little sound in there for that? Something like that?
Really? See, that's what the left does.
I'm just kidding,
there.
bro.
But don't kid.
I'm just kidding.
Because you kid.
Here's
But
the thing.
he left the game. He left about 10 minutes in the second half. He went back to work.
Here's the thing.
No, he went to the golf course.
Taylor Swift thing.
He went back to D.C.
Here's the thing. I don't understand why people are booing her since she made $5 billion on her tour. Doesn't she support the gross national product?
She does.
Yeah, she, of course, her taxes
Yeah.
and her economic
Impact
into the nation seems to do pretty damn good. There's a lot of people booing her.
I mean, I thought it was pretty cool when,
Ridiculous.
the Jumbotron during the national anthem, they showed him for maybe a second. I mean, you heard a lot of cheers at Weekabaugh. I mean, we had a lot of people cheering. I thought that was cool. I mean, it doesn't matter if you like him or not. It's the president and the first president to be at a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
I thought that was cool.
That's why. That's all.
Mind you, Rock, it's also about 5 to 6 weeks after there was a terrorist attack in that city. I mean,
he's there.
It's to me, it shows a lot about what he's kind of trying
I
to stand
commend
up
him for being there. I really do with all that. But I think whether you boo somebody or not, at that point, like with Taylor Swift, I'm like, well, I don't understand why you booed her just because she supported Kamala. And then
that's not why they booed her. You think that's why they booed her at the Super Bowl?
I think it's a combination of she's Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
That's why she got booed.
That's right
They
there.
were Philly fans. It had nothing to do with politics.
No, yeah, I'm sure some of it did.
Like,
no,
but this is the first time. How does this have anything to do with politics? Because the Swifties didn't vote for Trump?
Well, I think there's
a lot of them came around.
But I understand the whole thing with Travis Kelce. But I think a lot of it is, okay, you're booing her because she's dating this guy or whatever.
That's
but
why.
If they're booing her, if they're doing it because of the political reasons, they don't understand what she means to the gross national product with a lot of stuff.
Well,
So-
they don't care about that, Manuch. They just know that she's hanging with Travis Kelce, and they can't
By
stand
the
him
way,
either.
He looked a little out of sorts yesterday, did he not? I mean, I thought Kelce
They just couldn't get anything going. Period.
Yeah, there was. I don't know. Just something wasn't there. Something was amiss.
I give the credit though to the Eagles.
Oh,
defense.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the Eagles defense.
Real quick, some basketball. I know we've been talking all NFL, and we'll continue. A little update on the Suns. Maybe you were at the Open, you missed the Suns, you missed anything that's going on with the Suns. On Friday night, they had a game winner with Grayson Allen in overtime, which was pretty cool to see that. But then they got back to their losing ways the next night as they fell to Denver 122-105. They will play Memphis tomorrow night in downtown. Other basketball over the weekend and last night, ASU got beat pretty bad to Oklahoma State, 86-73. That was yesterday afternoon. They were down as many as 19 in the second half. Too many guys banged up for this Sun Devil team. There's not much they can do. They'll travel to number 13 Texas Tech on Wednesday. That's actually going to be on CBS Sports Network. And then for the Cats, Arizona, they started the season 4-5,
right?
And now they're on fire. An impressive win over Texas Tech, 82-73. They've won 13 in their last 14. They're tied for first place in the Big 12. So in the span of 6 weeks, they have gone from an NIT team to a team that can make a splash in the NCAA tournament. They got a big one on Saturday as number 3 Houston will be in town. And that winner of that game will be in great position to win the Big 12 championship. So hour number 2 is just on the other side. Oh, by the way, GCU, tough loss to California Baptist. They're still on the road. They got Tarleton State on Thursday and UT Arlington on Saturday. We'll have Coach Bryce Drew tomorrow on the program. Coming up, our G2G Protein Bar Game Changers of the weekend. We'll also have ABC 15's Craig Fooey. But right out of the gate, some interesting facts and stats from Super Bowl 59 that you may have missed. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B right here on ESPN 620.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You know, I still have my first car, a classic 66 Mustang, and what was is parked right next to what's next, a new Explorer we recently bought from our Desert Ford dealers. Yep, Paul Calvise here. Hey, Ford isn't just part of our family. My grandfather worked for Ford Motor, but it's part of America, our heritage. Yet Ford is also the future. Whether it's family time or four-wheeling time, tailgating or towing, Ford has a powertrain option that fits what you're looking for. Gas, hybrid, electric. You know what else our Desert Ford dealers have? The best-selling line of trucks for 48 years running. That Ford F-Series with the all-new 2025 F-150, designed to be the toughest and most productive ever. And then there's a 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E, 100% electric, 100% SUV with sports car performance. SUV, my daily driver, a Ford Edge. And again, we just bought a new Explorer. Wait till you see the redesigned interior on the all-new 2025 Explorer. Bottom line, get on down to our Desert Ford dealers or click buyfordnow.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Oh, 977-1900. 977-1900.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports. Is ESPN 620. And now, an on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2, and streaming live at arizonasports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
For the second time, the Vince Lombardi Trophy is headed to Philadelphia. Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions for the second time, 40-22. They take down the Chiefs.
It's good to see yesterday, for those of you that came out to Weekapaw Casino Resort, as we had the conference center full, good 75% Eagle fans.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, there was.
They really were. They were loud. And I understand the Kansas City fatigue. I think we can stop talking about the three-peat too. All right, Manuch.
It'll be a long time before we see that. We've seen history. May not see that for another 150 years, Rock, give or take. Unless you're Eagles.
So
you get into a three-peat mode.
You know, there was a lot of talk last night on some of the shows that, you know, they're kind of built for it, you know, and the fact that, you know, their general manager has been able to do so much. I mean, the first round pick, Mitchell, is from Toledo, and then DeJean is from Iowa. And then I think the next guy is from like a small Texas Christian small school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how they don't have big name. They're not drafting guys from big name colleges this past year. Now, 2 years ago, they went back to back Georgia. But when you look at what they've been able to do this year, they do more with less. And they draft guys that play right away. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Cardinals draft guys, they sit on the bench or they come in, you know, when they're either getting blown out or they just need some reps.
You know what Howie Roseman did? It's interesting. Listen to Mike Mayock.
Saint Howie.
So, excuse me, Saint Howie. Yeah, they should build a statue on front.
They're talking about it. They're actually talking about it.
I thought when he first was an assistant with the Eagles, he went off to Europe and went to a lot of top soccer teams. And as far as a manager, general manager, handled players, the kind of players he went after. Looking at, you know, in that area, I guess the lower leagues and building them up. And he went and did his homework. And I think he and Brett Veach is the GM for the Chiefs, have done a phenomenal job of going out and getting after those guys, to your point, Rock, that are solid football players that fit their system. Now, I think the other thing, too, was bringing Vic Fangio in as a defensive coordinator this year.
That was a home run.
Huge. And then you go get a guy named Saquon Barkley from the Giants. See how well that paid off? I don't know what the Giants got, whether it was draft picks or whatever. I'm not sure free agency. And to sign him. But I think what Howie Roseman has done, and I don't see any reason why the Eagles can't continue to win next year and the following year because of the way that they're built.
And if you go back 2 years ago, they dominated against the Chiefs in that game.
Yes, they did. They did.
The Chiefs just came back. I mean, I can't remember if the Eagles were up by 10 at half or something like that, but they had a pretty good sizable lead.
Yeah.
And lose by a field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go back in history, we could say that they could have been the 3-peat.
Could have been.
If they would have won that game.
And again, you could also, if you're an Eagles fan, they'll hang on the questionable pass interference call that was at the end of that game on top of it. So
that's crap.
Yeah. So it's interesting because if you keep the cupboards full and go get the guys that fit your system, get the guys that and mesh with you, I think that those are some things that Howie Roseman and I think Brett Veach have done for both of these teams. They're always going to be in the top 5 or top 3 of their division, right? So that's hard, guys. If you stop and think about it, you think of the Eagles, you think of the Bills, and the other side, the Chiefs. I mean, those top 4 or 5 teams, the Ravens. So look at their general managers. I think their philosophies and how they got there, how they maintain it. But the key is maintaining those core nucleus players when they want to get paid.
And go out and get the Barkleys and the A.J. Browns.
Sure. Yeah, the A.J. Brown.
And draft players that play. So I decided after last night, I ventured out into the internet in search of some trivia. In search of some trivia and some interesting facts of this Super Bowl. I mean, I kind of had a vested interest as my team won. So I'm going to just kind of go through a few that I came up with. And some of them you may have heard, some maybe you've not heard, but we'll start with one that I think you have, that no one in the Super Bowl era has ever scored a touchdown on their birthday. And of course, it happened last night. And Cooper DeJean, who turned 22, and in the second quarter, he intercepted Patrick Mahomes' pass and then runs back 38 yards. It was also his first career interception. And that I thought was pretty cool. And I thought it was pretty cool that he had a little, Berman gave him some cake. He had some cake afterwards, which I thought was cool. There could have been 2 players who scored on the birthday if running back Saquon Barkley would have scored, which I think a lot of people on their props had him scoring. I know I had him scoring, but that did not happen. So he turned 28. Jalen Hurts, he set a running record of his own. He carried the ball 11 times for 72 yards, which broke the previous record for the most rushing yards by a quarterback, which was his record, which he previously set just 2 years ago in Super Bowl 57 when he had 70. On the other side, Patrick Mahomes, he's 29, of course. There's a lot of Tom Brady comparisons, even after 5 Super Bowl appearances in 6 years with 3 wins. But consider this. Brady made 10 appearances in the Super Bowl, winning 7, and never lost a Super Bowl more than 1 score.
And Brady didn't quite have the meltdown of throwing the ball interceptions quite like that we saw with Patrick Mahomes yesterday.
And then a lot of football fans were caught in the middle and watched the Super Bowl without rooting for either team. That happens every year. If you were literally or physically halfway between Kansas City or Philadelphia, you would say you live in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
that's
right,
the center point right there. Good.
Interesting fact that in 1904, the Dayton, Ohio Police Department wrote the first known paper speeding ticket.
What?
Yep. The guy, his name was Harry Myers, and he was going 12 miles an hour
in a 5 mile an hour
West
zone.
3rd Street. Yes. How about that? In 1904.
Crank that engine up, did he?
Yeah,
Right
he
there?
did. He was pedaling hard.
So there you have it. Just some interesting facts. A little bit later, I have some nonsense, which that was kind of somewhat
That's
nonsense,
close.
but and some back pages too. The back pages were great, so we'll have those for you as well.
There was no nonsense with that defensive line None whatsoever.
Manuch, you played
They were
you played the
phenomenal.
position. I asked the question of Rudy Carpenter. I'm going to ask it of you as well. When you're running for your life, when does it finally click in that you're in real trouble? I know it doesn't happen on the first play or second play or maybe even the third play, but when does it click in that, oh man, this is not good?
You know, probably about the third series.
Okay.
Because if you haven't made any adjustments, you can't get the ball off. You got to remember, even on the running plays, they were getting off their blocks. It looked like World Federation Wrestling. Carter threw the guard off and got to Hunt a couple of times and Pacheco. So Andy Reid sees that. But as a quarterback, you're trying to drop back, whether it's a quick passing game or not. And it's not so much trying to step up in the pocket, Jimmy. There's no pocket because it's collapsing. So as you're trying to move up, all of a sudden you got to move right or move left. You're kind of going, oh man, these guys are breaking down all the time. If we don't start adjusting, or I can't get the ball out, then we got to make some things happen. So I didn't understand why they didn't do more draw plays.
Okay,
more screens, more slip screens, more tight end screens across the middle. Something to slow that rush down. But after a while, you start to see them slow rush Mahomes. They pushed, but they kind of kept their base so that he didn't get to the outside or get up the
and
middle.
make a long run.
And make a long run.
Okay.
And there was a time that they really weren't spying him, but with that rush, the way they were manhandling this offensive line of the Chiefs, there was nowhere for him to go because the coverage is also very good.
Right.
So a lot of folks don't really give the coverage the credit because of the pass rush. And that was another thing. There was really nowhere for him to throw the football. So I thought that Andy Reid basically, got schooled in reference to the lack of adjustments on his end.
How does this game go and there's not one blitz?
It's amazing
by the
to me.
Philadelphia Eagles?
I've never seen a Super
Not
Bowl
one.
or an NFL game, I should say, where at least the one of the backers with their 4-man front, their 3-man front, whatever, that all you're doing is bringing 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so at times they brought 3. Now, guys, I cannot tell you how hard it is when they rush 3 and drop 8. It's as if somebody came out of the stands into the secondary, and you're trying to figure out, okay, where'd he come from? Where'd he come from? Like that one time when Mahomes rolled out to his right, and he's rolling out, and he sees his guys open up, but he lost DeJean. Now, DeJean went to right, and then he's trying to come back, and he didn't see DeJean come back up underneath the coverage. He just didn't see him.
Right.
Because he had to move off get outside platform. So when you start to move, you lose sight of your guys. All of a sudden, he's throwing across the middle. DeJean comes out of nowhere. At least it seems like that. And then the other interception was just a phenomenal interception by that kid.
Right.
Because he got pressure on his back legs. He's trying to throw, and he's hitting. He's going right. He tries to throw back across his body. That kid makes a phenomenal interception. He had a guy coming across. If he'd got a clean pocket, he could have hit him coming across. There lies the pressure created both of those turnovers.
Do you think the national pundits need to apologize to a Nick Sirianni or a Jalen Hurts for, the
things they said
things
early?
they've said early on in the year? I mean,
Yeah.
Sirianni was getting beat up for a good 3 weeks.
Yep.
Jalen's been getting beat up all year long, and all he does is win. But it's not good enough because, like you said earlier, Manuch, he's not flashy enough.
I think that I think so many guys, the pundits, as you talk about, look for the flash, the sex appeal. He just wins. Now, I think they're more than enough giving them their flowers today. They're giving them their accolades. But I think with the whole Sirianni thing, even the thing that they probably hesitate, because Sirianni brought that on himself and admitted, hey, look, guys aren't happy with me right now. Here's what we're trying to do. But now they should say, hey, look, the method to his madness worked.
It did work.
Totally worked.
Yep.
And Jalen Hurts even admitted it worked. So when he admits it worked and I can go do my thing, and the head coach goes, and he didn't boast about it. He just said, that's just the way I run my team. And look what happened. Win a world title.
Mm-hmm.
Next, our G2G protein bar game changers from yesterday's game. We'll have Craig Fouey from ABC 15 in about 20 minutes. We appreciate you hanging out with us today. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B right here on ESPN 620.
Arizona's headquarters
Time for the G2G Protein Bar Play or Team of the Weekend. Did your favorite player make an incredible play or your team had a big upset? They probably know all about G2G Protein Bars, a refrigerated protein bar with unmatched taste, grab and go goodness. G2G Protein Bars are now available at Costco.
Or you could go to g2gbar.com. Again, in the refrigerated section at Costco. They're outstanding. They aren't your typical bar, no preservatives. They're in your refrigerator, so that's got to tell you something. Check it out at g2gbar.com or Costco. All right, this is where we give you our G2G game changers from the weekend or from a game or sometimes as a team. And I'm going to go with a play I think that folks in Philadelphia will treasure for a very, very long time.
It is 3rd and 16 for the Chiefs. Facing the staunchest defense of the season. Back goes Mahomes. He's rushing. He's looking. It's intercepted. It's intercepted. Running with the football to the 25. Down the far side is the Gene. And the Gene is in for a touchdown. Happy birthday, Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean with a pick for a touchdown.
So Cooper DeJean, Iowa, he's a rookie, gets the ultimate birthday gift with an historic Super Bowl pick 6. He just turned 22. If you think about it, go back to when you were 22 years old. You're playing in the Super Bowl, and you intercept Patrick Mahomes. Yep. It's your first career pick. You take it back to the house, and it's going to be a highlight reel forever. It'll be and be the first player in Super Bowl history to intercept a pass or score a touchdown on his birthday, and he does it. The guy is a rookie. He finished 4th in the Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. He broke up 9 passes during the regular season. He had 3 in the 3 playoff games prior to the Super Bowl. He also returns punts. This kid's a stud. I know Iowa fans, Hawkeye fans love this kid, and hopefully he'll be a Philadelphia Eagle for a long time.
Yeah, his name is imprinted in history.
It is
in
now.
Super Bowl history, forever and a day. My G2G Protein Bar game changers of the day were the Eagles' defensive line of Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, what a game, and Nolan Smith. The 6 sacks they had on Patrick Mahomes, the constant pressures and hurries, and forcing him to scramble and throw the ball away, and holding the Chiefs at just 49 yards rushing and to 3 out of 12 on 3rd down conversions. And, oh, by the way, they created the 2 picks. Oh, one more thing. They created the other fumble and recovery. So this Eagles defensive line was just not even the front 7 guys. I'm talking about the front 4 or my G2G Protein Bar game changers of the afternoon.
My G2G Protein Bar game changer, none other than the guy who was named MVP, and rightfully so. It is Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts.
Hurts back, looking. He is going deep, and it is caught. Touchdown!
The Slim Reaper.
Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith, 46 yards.
The Slim Reaper. So you got a sudden change. You force them to turn it over.
I love the Slim Reaper. That's great. Yes, he is kind of a toothpick kind of guy, but man, can that dude play. Hurts touchdown pass, he had 2 of them. He threw for 221 yards, rushed the football 11 times for 72 yards. That is a quarterback rushing record, and he also had a rushing TD where they did the tush push. So my G2G Protein Bar outstanding player, the MVP, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and one other thing, it did it without a running game. Literally, they shut down Barkley, and that was their boundary tournament. And I will say this, Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, said, well, we're going to have Jalen Hurts beat us. Well, he did.
He did.
He's the one that beat him. You talked about his rushing yards, his throwing yards. He literally took that on his shoulders, and he beat this defense of the Kansas City Chiefs.
So ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky, I think a lot of you like him. I think he does a tremendous job.
I like him. Yep.
He's kind of grown on me over the last year. I think he really turned the corner probably a year ago.
I mean, he is on every show, ESPN Live, Get Up. He does them all. Well,
McAfee.
Today he signed off.
He did.
And he says he's going to take a break. He won't be on TV for a long time. He said, you never know what the future holds, but I'm taking a break. The fans on social media, like Jimmy B, said, they're grateful for what he did. He was a staple on ESPN's NFL coverage for the 2024 season. But his ESPN contract is expected to expire later this year. So I think he's a hot commodity. He's going to end up somewhere, or they'll probably sign him.
Manuch, you made a good point because you see him on every show. He just burned out. And he's got to be. He's got to be
family.
Burned out. Yep. He just needs to take a step back and chill for a little while and then do the next big event. And just don't do it as much as you had been doing it with ESPN.
I think that's the ESPN way.
It is.
Because you see, I watch probably more than you two guys because you guys sleep a lot. But I'm up early, 5 o'clock. I watch every one of these shows, and it seems as though they use these guys over and over and over. And there's got to be that, what you said, Jimmy, a burnout. Yeah. And they maximize these guys. They pay them a lot of money. They do. I mean, even some of the gals, I mean, they put them in some spots where they shouldn't be as well. I mean, there are some really bad commentators too.
I think to that point, the burnout, the recycling all the time. But if they got that hot commodity, they're there. I remember when Sean Salisbury started many, many years ago. Sean was on everything, had his own show. He had to do this stuff and that stuff. And to your point too, Rock, a lot of the women that they use over and over again. But I think there could be a couple things. Take the was it 30-second timeout now, Jimmy?
Yeah.
No more 20s?
Yeah, no more 20s. 30s.
Yeah, the 30-second timeout, come back to either ESPN or whoever the highest bidder
is
might be, and take it from there. It's not a matter of the money for him. At some point, you want to breathe, take it out. Maybe the families, who knows what that situation is, but just take your time and just back off.
You remember Wojo walked away as well, and he went to St. Bonaventure to be their collective general manager.
Yeah, it's also his alma mater.
It
so
is.
It kind of worked out for him. Going back to the Super Bowl, in my 56 years of watching it, and I don't remember a lot of the ones early on, but
I remember every one of them.
I'd have to say that was probably the worst halftime show I've ever seen.
You didn't care for Kendrick Lamar?
I didn't know any of his songs.
Oh, okay.
And typically they tend to bring in performers that people all know.
Yeah.
And I knew like one song, and I'm just not into rap. I mean, you had a rogue dancer bringing a Gaza flag. I mean, that person. I mean, stuff like that. Come on.
And then Serena Williams
happened.
I love the Serena Williams thing.
I went, that's Serena?
Yeah, man.
I think the thing that everybody, none of us got until after you read about was the riff between he and Drake. The Drake riff, all the songs that he was going to he got sued for, and then you got Samuel L. Jackson with his whole thing with the president, that type of thing. So it was like I didn't know the story behind the story till you get home and you read about it, and then on top of it, I know what the words were. I mean, I couldn't understand what he was saying with that whole thing. Yes.
Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, someone made a good point yesterday that the halftime show now being sponsored by Apple Music. Most of Kendrick's songs yesterday were newer songs from his new album. So I think the reason why it's being sponsored by Apple Music is they're trying to play the newer songs to get people to download his album versus playing some of his classics. Like he had a bunch of classics, even Connor knows too, from like 2010s, 2008s. But to Rock's point, it just seemed like it was more of, I don't want to say a protest, but he was trying to make a message versus like having some of his hit songs that everyone knew.
And the message, it was like a shot at Drake.
Yeah,
it was. Well, there's some riff between these two, which I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Like you said, like this morning.
Yeah, and the one song, the insinuation, the song Minor.
Yeah,
the insinuation about Drake being a pedophile, and the thing they sued him for allegedly. So I have to say that. But that was a shot. That song, he's going, "Oh, you're going to sing that?" Yeah, so he sang it. And then
he rapped it.
He rapped it.
Good point.
Yeah, and then the dance.
He didn't sing it.
Yeah. Serena Williams dance. She did that little jig.
Well, she used to date Drake.
Well, that was it right there. She used to date him. She did that little jig at Wimbledon, and they booed her there.
Yeah.
So it's an actual dance, I guess, crypto dance, whatever they call it. So it's more of a cultural dance. So she did that. So there was what do you call protests or digs at other people.
Speaking of digs, Manuch, you decided you didn't
want Jax to be part of our G2G?
No, I didn't.
Game changer. Why'd you?
I thought you saw you were gonna go right into Jax. You want to give your G2G
You're more
protein
welcome
bar?
to still join us if you like to kind of squeeze it in there. 'Cause I think you got a good take.
I thought I had a good G2G person for today. Eagles general manager Howie Roseman, I think, deserves so much credit. And I think for us being in Arizona, you look at the Arizona Cardinals and how they could potentially build themselves up. Cardinals fans aren't going to like it. Those first 4 picks have got to be offensive, defensive line. But what Howie Roseman did, like you guys mentioned, hiring Vic Fangio, drafting Quinn Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Zach Bond, Kellen Moore, Saquon, go on and on and on. It's pretty impressive. And you talked about a three-peat not ever happening, Manuch. This team and how it's built, how young they are, I would say if they can keep everyone together, which is tough in a league where people are chasing money, but if they can chase a cohesion or what Sirianni said, the culture of their team is built on love, watch out for the Eagles.
I think a lot of players are going to want to play for the Philadelphia Eagles because of that family, that love and everything. You know, it seems like they're a really close knit team.
Wait a minute, they wanted to fire him. They wanted Sirianni. No, they wanted Sirianni out.
Only the fans.
I know
and
the fans are so stupid.
And the same thing. And you guys don't listen to sports talk radio in Philadelphia. You don't read the newspapers in Philadelphia. I do. And that whole thing about Sirianni was so overblown nationally. Mm-hmm. It was not nearly as bad as the talking heads on national TV portrayed it. It was never that bad. And you talk to diehard Phillies fans, they're like, yeah, that thing got really blown out of proportion. Yeah, he yelled at some fans, but that was very minimal. And it was kind of poking fun. And Sirianni was kind of having fun with it, but it was taken out of context.
Anytime you have a chance as a player that you've been to 2 out of the last 3 Super Bowls, you win one, you're staying around. You are definitely sticking around.
We're going to catch up with ABC 15's Craig Fooey for Factor Fooey, but here's Jax again with another local ESPN 620 sports update.
We're going to call Fooey office.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's bottom of the hour ESPN 620 Sports Update, sponsored by Twin Peaks Sweethearts Week. I'm Jackson Graw. The Arizona Wildcats climbed 7 spots to 13 in the latest AP Top 25 men's poll ranking released earlier today. Arizona made the biggest leap in this week's AP poll, securing wins after securing wins with BYU and number 12 Texas Tech. WM Phoenix Open winner Thomas Gentry came close to a hole-in-one on the electric 16th hole yesterday, while finishing 4 straight birdies, shooting 6 under a 65 on Sunday to claim a dominant 7-shot victory, his first PGA Tour win. And lastly, the 500, 26-26 Phoenix Suns will host the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow night after heading to Houston on Wednesday. It's Sweethearts Week, costume party all week at the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. Come on out. It happens today through Friday at Twin Peaks Costume Week.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice.
Yeah, if you look at if you work off the computer, I highlighted the 60, the office number. I highlighted it. Yeah, we work off that doc.
Craving tacos? There's one spot in town that everyone can't stop talking about. The Taco Spot. With mouth-watering, authentic Mexican flavors and a modern twist. It's no wonder they're the local favorite.
The Taco Spot has the best tacos I've ever had.
With locations opening all over Arizona, satisfying your cravings has never been easier. Come and experience the tacos to talk about. Enjoy handmade tortillas and fresh made-to-order meals that will leave your taste buds dancing. The Taco Spot, where every bite is a fiesta.
There's going to be a lot more games that tickets get to that price. So if you want to be a part of them, you better buy season tickets. You better do it right now. You better sell it out, because we're going to have a lot more games where this state wants to show up to. Buy your season tickets. Let's make that every single week of next year. Because why would you not want to be in that environment? It's one of the most fun places to be in college football. Why would you not want to do that every Saturday?
Get your Sun Devil football tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Hashtag sexy roof status. At State 48 Roofing, we are family owned and operated, born and raised in Arizona. We'd love to give back to our schools and community. Contact us tickets at state48roofing.com. What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, #SexyRoofStatus. All of our work using state-of-the-art materials and 5-star workmanship. Our inspections are free. You heard me? Free. Go to state48roofing.com to schedule your free appointment today.
Life's a sprint, and you need a quick pick-me-up. Meet G2G protein bars, the ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether you're hustling in the office, enjoying a day on the links, or conquering the daily grind, G2G is your perfect fuel. Score an 8-pack at your local Costco's refrigerated section, or explore amazing flavors at g2gbar.com. Quick, delicious, and power-packed. G2G protein bars, setting the pace for your energetic lifestyle.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is always adding exciting cocktails to the menu, like the expertly balanced Sincoro Hall of Fame Margarita. Try it at your local lodge today.
It's time for Fact or Phooey with ABC 15 Sports Director Craig Phooey. Phooey joins the guys each Monday to break down the top stories of the weekend. And as a reminder, Manuch writes the questions. Now here's ABC 15's Craig Phooey.
Hurts is back. Hurts has plenty of time. He's looking. He fires. He completes it. Touchdown!
All right, it's all NFL Super Bowl 59 today, as Philadelphia Eagles, of course, destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, let's get to it. Factor Phooey with ABC 15's Craig Phooey. How we doing this glorious Monday there, Phooey?
Coach? Fly, Eagles, fly.
That's right.
There we go.
All right,
you're something else.
Yeah, you're an offensive-minded guy. You are an offensive coach. So our first question. Eagles proved that once again, defense wins championships. Fact or Phooey?
Fact. Listen, they clobbered the Chiefs, and at halftime, the Chiefs had 23 total yards. 23 total yards.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. 2 turnovers. I mean, they couldn't do a thing. And obviously, they got some garbage yardage and touchdowns late in the game yesterday. But man, that defense just shut them down, and I don't think Pat Mahomes knew what was coming where next. You know, it was like just confusion. No receivers could catch none of their receivers could catch the ball. Nobody was open. Even DeAndre Hopkins looked like a junior high kid trying to catch a pass. I mean, it was crazy.
Coach, when's the last time not only a Super Bowl, but a game where you didn't see one blitz by the defense? That 4-man rush the entire game. The 6
Not
sacks,
a single blitz.
the hurries. All the above. I mean, commend Vic Fangio to these guys. Sweat. I mean, him coming off the edge. I mean, it was incredible to see, but I thought it was more incredible that Andy Reid never had an answer for any of them.
No, they didn't. And that's the thing. That was interesting. I think when you're getting dominated, there's not a coach out there that will have an answer. Right? I've been in those shoes when you've got a young team and you're being dominated by an opponent. You're like, is there anything we can do? Can somebody block? Can somebody run a play? I mean, seriously, it is one of those things where you're on the headsets talking to guys going, do we have anybody that can block that guy? Do we have anybody that can carry the ball? Do we have anybody that can catch? I mean, it is so frustrating when you're getting outmanned like the Chiefs were yesterday that there are no answers. And to have 23 total yards at halftime, I can't imagine what they talked about at halftime.
Or, Coach, like I said in the huddle, hey, if in doubt, grab their ass, if you could, please. Just hold them. Do whatever.
Gee whiz.
All right, Coach.
Crazy.
Question number 2. Jalen Hurts may not have the big stats, but he has proved that he's truly one of the top 5 big game QBs in the National Football League. Fact?
Well, for that game, yeah. I'll say fact on that. But he had an outstanding game. 17 of 22, 221 yards, 11 carries, 72 yards. He got sacked twice is all. But when you give your quarterback a chance like that, and he was big, he rose to the occasion. There was a lot of questions coming in, right? That can he do it? Can he play in the big game? He's never been in a Super Bowl. I think he proved all the doubters wrong.
And I think the one thing that I think that Spagnuolo wanted to do is just say, okay, we're going to shut down Barkley, and we're going to want you, Jalen Hurts, to beat us. And he did. He's the one that beat him.
Yeah. Yeah, no question. I mean, Saquon Barkley ended up with 57 yards rushing. I think the Eagles had about 135 or something, whatever it was. But yeah, it was one of those games where go ahead, see what you can do. And you knew coming in, if you're the Eagles, you knew coming in they were going to try and shut down Saquon Barkley, right? That's what Spags was going to do. So, and they were pretty successful at it, but they just couldn't slow down that Eagles team.
All right, we're going to change gears. Here we go. Question 3, Coach. After the trade deadline fiasco by the Phoenix Suns, because they came up empty for Jimmy Butler, and they couldn't deal KD either, Suns fans will see a meltdown. Remember, I don't write these. Manuch does. We'll see a meltdown on the court and a total rebuild by the Suns. It'll happen in the off season. Fact or phooey?
Holy cow, that question sounds like a question with 5 different answers to it. That was a lot of
there, Coach.
And right. It's like hyping this and ellipsis that. Listen, the Suns lost the other night, 122-105 to the Nuggets. And again, I've said this all along. They're a 500 team. Guess what they are? 26-26. They're a 500 team. But let's go back to the trade deadline. If you had an opportunity to trade Kevin Durant, why didn't you pull the trigger on that? Kevin Durant does not have a no-trade clause. If he didn't want to go to Golden State, who cares? He doesn't have a no-trade clause. Yep. Bradley Beal's the only one that does. But I've said this repeatedly over the weekend and even today. The Suns backed themselves into this corner, and I don't blame Matt Ishbia being a new owner trying to push all of his chips to the center of the table and going full go to try and win a championship. But we have now seen over 2 years of this crap, and it doesn't work. This team is not constructed that way. And they thought, I think, that the big 3 would carry this team and kind of cover up some of the faults of the guys coming off the bench. But they're not doing that. They don't have the depth outside of those guys. And so Kevin Durant can't carry the team by himself. Devin Booker can't carry the team by himself. They barely beat Utah the other night. That was an embarrassment. Had to go to overtime by an amazing shot by Grayson Allen. This team is what it is. And I think, unfortunately, James Jones is going to be the fall guy this summer, and they're going to let him go and try to bring somebody else in. But it's not his fault. He's doing what he's being told to do. And now you backed yourself into this corner where you're going to, if you get rid of Kevin Durant, you're going to give him away for pennies on the dollar.
Now you will. Yeah.
And, Coach, what does this tell you? In 4 of the last 5 losses, the Suns have been outscored on average 126-110. I mean, injuries aside, I mean, you're 16 points on average in those 4 out of 5 losses?
Yeah, and that's the thing. This team is just not very good. And obviously they played the Nuggets shorthanded, but Jokic sat out for the whole fourth quarter.
Yes, he did.
He didn't even play the fourth quarter. And it was Budenholzer said afterwards, we were so worried about Murray and Jokic. Well, Jokic didn't even play the fourth quarter, so you didn't have to worry about that. But when you've got Bol out there and some of these other guys playing, you know things are not good.
All right, he's ABC 15. It's Craig Philly with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN 620. All right, number 4, not even Devin Booker will be immune to being traded in the offseason. Fact or phooey?
I'm going to say phooey on that. I think Book stays around.
Okay.
I think he's sort of the face of this franchise, even though Kevin Durant has been playing really well. Book's still the face of the franchise, isn't he? I mean, you can have a different coach in there. They're not the face. And so Book's been the guy that's been around here. He suffered through some pretty lean years when he got started. It's hard to believe that he's like 28 years old and in his 10th season. It's crazy for me. But I think he'll stick around. I think they'll look at moving. I think Durant's days are done at the end of this season. Beal still has a no-trade clause, so if he wants to be in the Valley, he's going to be here. But you've got to move some pieces and try to get some money back. You can't deal with this second apron and have any success.
All right, Coach, last one. After ASU's lost Oklahoma State yesterday, 86-73, and now losing 3 in a row and losing 8 of the last 10, we'll have ASU AD Graham Rossini seriously looking at a change at head coach for this team after the season. Fact or phooey?
Yeah, that's a fact. They're 3-9 in Big 12 play. Obviously, they went into the game yesterday. First of all, why the heck are you playing a game on Super Bowl Sunday?
Exactly.
But that's a whole other story. But they went into that game shorthanded. 2 of their star senior guards were out. And then Jaden Quaintance goes out 7 minutes into the game with an ankle sprain. But they're just not playing good basketball. A lot of talented players, just no ability to come together as a team and play well. So it's just been, one of those things where you just look at it and go, my God, what's going on over there? And I'm a big Bobby Hurley fan, but we've seen a lot of this, right? We've seen a lot of the same kind of stuff. Back in August, September, they said, this is his best recruiting class ever. He's jumped on board with NIL. He's got these great stars in here, but they're still not playing as a team.
He's Craig Fouey, ABC 15. What's Diamondback talk now? What's the deal?
Yeah, Josh Naylor was introduced today, and so something that originally set for 11, then they backed it up at 11:30, and then I think he finally came out to see us about 11:50. So a lot of us got a chance to see guys out. There's lots of guys out there already, and the pitchers, catchers don't even report officially till Wednesday, but a bunch of guys out there throwing the ball and playing some infield stuff. So it was kind of fun to see. And then Wednesday, pitchers and catchers, and it's 9 a.m. to noon, and it's all open, free parking, free admission. Fans can go out and have fun with the D-backs. Spring training's here, man.
So all the number 87, number 92, number 67.
We do have that.
Zero.
I was a spring training PA announcer for 4 years, and I'll tell you what, those are some of the most painstaking games when you get past the third inning. Like, this guy's not even on the roster.
Right.
That's good stuff.
Holy cow.
All right, Fouey, have a good week, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
That's ABC 15's Craig Fouey. Check him out. On ABC 15, he's on 4, 5, 6, 10.
Everywhere.
He's always on. Fouey's courtesy of Taco Spot. Taco Spot with locations throughout Arizona. They got 16 now. Come and experience the tacos to talk about. For a location near you, just head to tacospotaz.com. Well, coming up, some really great back pages, the newspapers from Super Bowl 59. And is this a new record for the earliest Gatorade shower? Get into that, and maybe country music for halftime. Maybe it's time. This is Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, now on ESPN 620 and 98.7 HD2.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are now here on Phoenix's home for the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN Radio. Tune in weekdays from 1 to 4 on 620 AM, 98.7 HD2, or online at arizonasports.com. Plus, check out their show page at rocandmanuch.com for past shows and promotion. That's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, now heard on ESPN 620.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose, so where did it go? I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose, so where did it go? I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose, so where did it go?
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner and Rose, is the way to go. Oh, 977-1900. 977-1900.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's learning environments are designed for supportive networking and collaboration. With over 330 academic programs, GCU provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Join us at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf to test drive the new tailor-made QI 35 Woods, the fourth generation of carbon wood technology. This driver unlocks a new level of distance by combining optimal launch conditions and ultimate forgiveness to maximize performance. Book your fitting in-store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, proudly serving golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention, which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ooh, ma. What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on their new home, ESPN 620.
You got to work on this music, Jax. Jeez. Come on.
This is Lincoln Park.
Yeah. Thank you. We need to work on this music, Jax. You going to put some Nickelback in there next time or what? Jeez.
A little
You
soft.
got to remember, you got
man.
a 56-year-old, you got a 67,
92.
and a 92.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got to bring it.
Lincoln Park?
70s, 80s, 90s.
No,
That's good too. Where's KC and the Sunshine Band?
Yeah, it's
I was
there.
right.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah,
It's coming.
I'll take that.
I spent a whole Saturday.
Why aren't we using it? Why are we not using the music, Rock?
Jack's had a busy week with the Waste Management Open.
No.
I got him
I
tickets.
I
I got
over here,
tickets.
Connor.
I got him tickets to the Open. Got him a press pass.
Wow.
So he's got to go do his be seen kind of
Sure,
thing.
yeah.
So I get it. I
Jack,
was there
you
one time.
Take a date out there with you there, buddy? Kind of roam around.
You don't take sand to the beach, but
I mean,
seriously?
Well, he doesn't.
Did you just ask him? Did you bring a girl to the Phoenix Open?
Well, he doesn't go to the beach very often, though, Rock. So I mean, I don't know if Jackson. Did you take anybody?
No, Manuch, I didn't take anybody.
Yeah.
I took my buddies from college that actually
Oh,
mean
there you
something
go.
to me, not some random girl that I
You
just met the night before.
probably toured up afterwards in Old Town.
Yeah, right.
Once again, he was shut out.
He was, dude, he had his A game yesterday. I didn't expect that.
Hey, Jax,
I got to tell you.
awesome job yesterday, buddy.
This is the first Saturday in years I wasn't at the WM Open, and I don't regret it at all.
How was your Friday that we gave you off on Friday? Go out there and do your thing.
I'll be honest with you. I went out there for the first time, too, and did not have one drink.
Wait a second.
Yep.
Not one brewski or
I
anything.
was walking around. I had a pass that allowed me to go everywhere, and started at 16. I was there when the hole in one went down, but I couldn't see it because it was so crowded.
Mm-hmm.
And then I walked over to number 9. My dad was there, so I hung out with my dad. And then I left, and I went in the greenskeeper. I saw some buddies in there, and then that was it.
Hey, Jimmy, it's starting to happen.
Yeah,
Age
I
is
know.
catching
Yes,
up.
it is.
It's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
56.
Oh,
He's
I
like,
know.
you know what?
It's like,
Man,
all my
56, boy,
all
I
my
was-
buddies that normally come in town text me, hey, what's up, man? You having fun at the Open? I'm like, I didn't go.
Yeah. 56. Jeez, I was rolling all day, all night.
Oh, yeah, whatever, Jimmy. Whatever.
You are the biggest
I was.
liar.
I am not.
You are so
rolling all day, all night.
I think what's so funny about it, anyone over 60 that does radio thinks that they like the cool. You're still cool. You're not. You're not.
I never claimed to be cool.
No, you're sure. That's what
No,
you're
I'm
trying
not.
to say. That you used to run. Used to run hard.
I said at 56 I could run hard still.
Oh, man, you're so
That's not 60. It's 56.
Jimmy
Manucci never ran hard, so we know that. That's his style. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just never been your style.
I stayed my lane, man.
Yeah,
I said,
well, you just shit.
Jimmy threw it out. Jack, you'll love this. Jimmy threw it out yesterday. I go, yeah, that watching all that tape. Jimmy goes, oh, I've watched as much tape as you have.
I have.
What? I said, okay, so you watch 25 years of maybe 2 hours a day of tape.
Let me tell you something, Grandpa.
Whatever.
Here's the deal. When you started doing television play-by-play in the 70s, there's no internet. There's nothing. So they would send you film.
Beta.
And beta. Finally, it got to beta. But they would start with film, and you had to look at the film to get an idea of what games you would be calling.
Jimmy, I watch so much. I've watched enough tape from here to the moon 95
I think
times.
anybody listening even gives a what.
Nobody cares.
But Jimmy throws that out.
Nobody cares.
He throws
cares.
this stuff out there like that
Damn
right
right
there.
I did.
Hey, I was rolling at
Here's the
56.
thing. Before, when it was just Roc and Manuch, it was the same thing that Jimmy's doing. You did the same thing,
but I could
make up nonsense.
I would never lie about something like that.
Oh,
hey, Rock,
really? You want to go there? You really want to go there?
Hey, Rock, I've mixed as many drinks as you have. You were at.
Well, there's no way you did that.
Well, exactly.
So there's no way bartender in college, bartender at Maloney's,
as I have,
bartender at the Copper Club at American West Arena.
Oh boy, here we go. See, I would never go down that road because I know better, Jimmy.
I wish I would have met you at America West Arena when I came in there to do games. But
Why? I
you
wouldn't
weren't
talk
there
to
yet.
you.
No, you weren't
I was
there.
a bartender.
Yeah, no, you weren't there yet.
I was there before it opened. I was there the first day it opened.
You were?
1992.
Okay, I did. All right, most of the NBA games I had to think.
So
most
you guys
of the
make
NBA
stories up.
games,
You guys are so full of crap.
No. Most of the NBA games I did.
Oh, jeez.
I had to think. No, I had
Should
to
we
think.
go to commercial
it was
break?
from 89 to about 96. So, yes, I probably rolled in there and you were bartending.
And I couldn't see you because you weren't tall enough.
Well,
over the
no, because
bar.
all the players were standing in front of me.
No, there was no
Oh,
players
Jimmy.
where you don't even know the Copper Club where I worked. It was upstairs.
I was
VIP.
never in.
Yeah, you were down in the press room.
Yeah, right.
All right,
Free
back
food.
pages. We do this every Monday. Oh, actually, you do it a lot. But if you are old like us, we still like the newspaper. And in other big markets where they really support your team, they put you on the front page if you're in sports. Like the Philadelphia Inquirer, of course. Big Easy. Defense dominates. Jalen Hurts is MVP in Eagles route, and they show him on stage. The Daily News in Philadelphia bowled him over. This time it's out. It's an out and out Eagles route. Even the Daily News in New York, kick and tush. Eagles put beating on Mahomes. Chiefs to deny three-peat, and it had Barkley on the cover. The other paper there in the Post, the Birds and the Breeze. Hurts finished his job this time. Bird Bash Newsday, Chief Tormentor. That was in the Kansas City paper with Hurts. What else? Also, it looks like Detroit. No, Dallas Morning News. History denied. Eagles defense dominates Kansas City. Regal Eagles. Chicago Sun. I don't understand what Regal Eagles mean. And it's got a picture of both of them.
If you're the fray, if you are regal, kind of like me on this show, above the fray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever,
right.
Jimmy.
Whatever you said. That.
Okay.
The last Super Bowl halftime show that was fully country. Just give me a guess of the year. Fully country.
Fully country. I go take it 10 years ago.
Okay.
I'm going to go 15.
15? All right. 1994.
Yeah.
Way back.
Plus.
Who was
that?
Who was the act?
It was Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt, and the Judds. That was 31 years ago.
Wow.
I just thought yesterday was horrible. I'm just not my thing.
Well,
that's fine. There are
not your
people
deal.
that do like it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. But I've become a country person living out here as long as I have now. I mean, I think a Chris Stapleton would be cool. You know my story with Faith Hill when I brought her out to sing the national anthem. That was fun. And, some of those would be pretty cool to see those once again. But, Morgan Whalen, Luke Combs, Jelly Roll. I mean, even Dolly Parton would be great. She's
any combination of all the above.
I'd take Big and Rich anytime.
I think there's, people that like this halftime shows where this is probably the first time I remember that we hosted a Super Bowl event, which we've been doing 20 plus years, that people weren't up dancing. Typically we would see people actually dancing in the big ballroom.
It wasn't quite the rap crowd we had there yesterday.
Yes, it was.
You think so?
Yes.
A lot of people knew what Kendrick Lamar was doing.
Especially Eagles fans, where that big area was, where they were doing the chants the whole time. I know it was funny because these Eagle fans were upset with me because here I'm wearing an Eagles jersey. And they wanted us to pipe in, Eagles music. And I'm like, I can't really do that. There's Chiefs fans here too. And we got to be fair and balanced. Like, come on, Rock, you're an Eagles fan. I'm like, nah, can't do it. So anyway.
It was just for a non-rap fan like myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more about the words, to understand the words. I have heard a few of his songs. They're a good song. But when you're on the radio, you can kind of decipher what the words are. But yesterday was just hard to even understand the words.
That was my problem. I
didn't get it, understand it. I mean, and then all the the messages are being sent. You could tell there's messages being sent.
Yeah.
But
Well, Jax made a good point when he said that he did a lot of new material because they were trying to push
I would have
his
no
new
idea.
songs on Apple.
I have no idea. New, old, whatever.
Whatever.
I would just never know that music per se, what that was.
So Philadelphia, the Eagles just returned to Philadelphia. Of course, you can imagine the people there in Philadelphia International Airport waiting for them. Eagles even did that Gatorade shower with 3 minutes left to go in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be some type of record for their earliest coach
absolutely.
bath, right? It was the yellow green. I'm sure that was a prop bet that somebody had. 'Cause there were so many big prop bets. I know I did a couple and didn't win any, but the Star Spangled Banner that came in on the under.
Okay.
The was Taylor Swift being shown on Fox broadcast during the anthem? No. So she was not shown even on CBS last year. Will Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts be shown first on Fox broadcast during the national anthem? The bet was Hurts. He won that. What else? Will Jason Kelce be shown with clothing accessories bearing the name of the Eagles or the Chiefs? That was a no.
Yeah.
No.
What will be the coin flip? That was tails.
Tails, yeah.
So that was a kind of a bummer because I hit heads.
Okay.
Lost my money. I think we could. Jack and I tried winning money there. Commercials. I thought they were very average. It was definitely one that had a lot of celebrities in them. Seemed like there were a lot of
the Dunkin' Donut one.
That was a good one. That
was
good.
ranked
one of the best.
And I like the one with Seal. As well.
I thought that was the dumbest.
That was
really?
That one, the seal, and then the one with the tongue, whatever that one was.
And McConaughey was in two different
He
commercials.
was, yeah.
That one was good.
Yeah, that was very good. McConaughey was good.
Wasn't there supposed to? Didn't Elon Musk buy a bunch of time and was going to be running some ads? I never saw him.
He was supposed to. I missed him.
I don't think he did.
I heard he bought like 3.5 minutes, and it's. I was curious what it was going to be.
Never saw him.
All right, well, we were working, so that's probably part of it.
Yeah.
But, Jimmy, did you see him?
I did not.
Okay.
But I wasn't working. I was just there.
We know.
I was just there hanging out with you guys.
All right. We have some Super Bowl nonsense, grease poles, $100 salads, #rigged. I'll tell you what that's all about next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. We're in the studios of ESPN 620.
No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You need a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
Now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Oh, job season. Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
When we got our home appraised, we felt robbed. Compared to a similar home right around the corner, our appraisal was $80,000 less.
Latino and Black homeowners are about twice as likely as white homeowners to get low appraisals. If you believe your home has been unfairly appraised because of race or national origin, contact HUD at HUD.gov/fair housing. That's HUD.gov/fair housing. Everyone has a right to fair housing. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports. Is ESPN 620. And now, an on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
For the second time, the Vince Lombardi Trophy is headed to Philadelphia. Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions for the second time, 40-22. They take down the Chiefs.
Well, it sucks being here today.
Should
be a holiday.
Suck it up over there.
Yeah. Well, there's an annual survey that estimated that 22.6 million American workers plan to miss today from work.
Couldn't handle their liquor,
Last year was 18.8. Why do you always go to alcohol?
Well,
this is not a
game gets over at
maybe you had a couple. Maybe you had 4 walking tacos yesterday at our event, and maybe a Nathan's hot dog. Then you had some brisket, and then maybe you went into the sports book, and then you had a pizza and something else. Maybe you just want to veg.
You're
bloated.
a
long day yesterday. It's
How
a long
hard can it
day.
be to sit
I mean,
there
you
and
guys got
watch
there
a
at what,
game?
4? I mean, I got there at 11. You guys just walk in.
I walked in at 12:30.
I was right there with you.
It's so bad that, I mean, Jimmy B, as old as he is, he had to get a hotel room and stay there.
But I won money that night, last night.
It never sits to me. If you get a little liquored up, you got another 10, 12 hours to sober up and go to work. I mean, please suck it up.
I hate
don't
people
feel
that
bad for
say that.
anybody.
I hate people that say that don't drink. You guys just assume that that's the way it is. People can go out and have a couple beers or claws or whatever they're doing and be fine, and it's not like they're going to be hungover. But it seems like it's the people that don't drink, like you don't. You may have an occasional glass of wine. That's fine, and I'm not advocating drinking or not drinking. But the point is the people that come out and say, "Oh yeah, they're all sloshed. They're going to stay home." That's such crap.
Well, it tells me if you need a day off, you can't handle your liquor, you can't handle a whole that day.
No, maybe you wake up with a
You're
cold. I mean, there are a
soft.
lot of people sick today because the weather. I mean, you're around all those people
If you're
yesterday.
sick-
You may have caught a cold.
Yeah, okay. If
The
you're-
flu is
if
going
you're
around.
legitimately sick, I can get it. But I mean, please, you're sitting there watching the game, you're eating, having a few drinks, whatever. You get home by, I don't know, 8:39, 10 o'clock.
No, that's here
Go
on
to-
the West Coast, Manuch.
Okay.
On the East Coast, it's 11:30.
See, that's what you got to realize. It's not just about you, man.
So you're saying that they're softer on the East Coast? So they can't get
No,
to bed at 11:30
it's not
midnight
time
and
difference.
get up and go to work?
This game got over at what, 8:30, 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
I mean, that's 11 out in East.
Yep, 10:30, 2 hours. Okay, get
It's
to
a
bed
big
by
deal, man.
11.
Look who's talking.
Get home, that whole type of thing. I just think anybody that needs a dab is soft. They can't handle it, please.
On top of that 22.5 million that have, called out today.
Petition.
Another 13 million plan to go into work late today. I still think they got to make it an annual holiday. I know we talk about it all the time.
We do.
President's Day, which is already a national holiday. I don't think any single person would have a problem with that. I just think for the restaurants, for the bars, they would probably make a little extra more money if people can, stay out a little later.
But then
I mean,
that
it's good
goes
for
back.
business.
It is good for business, and I get it. But Manuch will tell you, well, because they drank so much now they can't
They're
make it to
soft.
work.
Absolutely.
See, there you go.
It's interesting because when I was playing in Buffalo, those folks would go
Oh,
out
here we
after a
go.
game. Now listen,
Jeez.
they'd be out
They
till
didn't even have alcohol back then.
after a game. It's interesting. The bars close at 4 back in Buffalo, or whenever the last guy leaves.
That's right.
So I usually
That's crap. Look
Okay.
that up. I'm fact checking that.
No, that
4.
is
true.
correct.
Yeah,
4.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
reason is
Why you
because
pick your nose all the time when you're on
I
the
don't.
air?
It was
you
itching.
always pick your nose.
Stop it.
No,
So
it's
here's the deal.
irritating. It's like you're a little kid.
Here's the thing in Buffalo. Manuch is not lying about this, okay? They stay open till 4 because they used to have all of the auto factories there, and they had shift changes. So when guys would get off work at 2 o'clock in the morning, they could still get to the bar for a couple of hours, and that was correct in Buffalo.
And those people in Buffalo after our home games, I'd be leaving about. I'd go to have some dinner, go get a couple of drinks. I'd leave about 12.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
did you go to work the next day?
Yeah,
you okay?
Yeah,
2 drinks?
But here's the thing. I'm leaving at midnight. All of a sudden, the lines are out the door.
They are.
I'm like, what's going on? He goes, well, we don't. Number one, people go home after games. They take a nap, they eat, and they go out. And then they be out till 3, 4 in the morning. And then they just could take a nap and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's say they go to work on Monday. I'm like, wow, they do that around here?
They
So
do.
that's why I'd stretch it out till 1 o'clock in the morning, after a game.
Now, all those factories have shut down now, so I don't know if it's still 4 o'clock. But back
in
then,
those days.
back when Manuch was talking, it was 4
Or
a.m.
until the last guy's done drinking.
Pretty much, yeah. And they always had the hot dog vendor out on the corners.
Always.
So we always called it Loser's Corner.
So Buffalonians want to hear about it. There's no hangover, not going to work the next day. I mean,
Well,
please.
they're tough people out there. They go to work.
They are.
Blue collar, man.
Here are a few of the sillier things that were trending yesterday during the Super Bowl. Before the game, there was a reporter on Fox 29 in Philadelphia that was so excited to announce that for the first time ever, cops in New Orleans grease the poles on Bourbon Street. Now, that's something they do in Philly quite a bit because we're a city that wins a lot. So that I thought was pretty cool. I saw the story yesterday on Twitter, but it was just kind of cool that a lot of those poles that are in down in Bourbon Street, it's historic.
They are.
So, Philly fans are going to, they're going to feel like they're at home and they're going to rip those things down like they did last night, on Broad Street and throughout Philadelphia.
How many people were out there last night? It must
I
have been
didn't see it.
150,000.
It was unbelievable.
Incredible.
They do that a lot. I mean, you think about it. I mean, the Phillies have won, and the Eagles not too long ago they
Matter
won.
of fact, and since that young man was it 2 weeks ago, the NFC Championship fell and died. I don't think they allowed any pole climbing whatsoever in Philadelphia. This unfortunately, this last night.
So the conspiracy crowd was out in full force again.
Of course.
Hashtag rigged, RIGGED, started immediately trending after that a questionable call in that first quarter with A.J. Brown. And people claim that the refs were in the tank for the Chiefs, but then, of course, the Eagles crushed them.
Right.
So you can shut that down pretty quick.
Well,
however, D-Hop, hey, Connor, pull that D-Hop sound if you can. If you can find D-Hop sound where he's talking about the refs. So I found this early this morning, after being at the bars all night, Manuch. But DeAndre Hopkins,
glad you showed up for work.
Talked. Tell me when you're ready, but talks about the refs and the touchy calls.
What y'all gonna say now about the refs and us when there was a lot of touchy calls? Are y'all gonna report that? Are y'all gonna talk about the refs now?
Was it him who was wide open? He tripped.
Yes.
Yeah.
And missed that catch.
Yes.
So it would have been a touchdown.
Well, he had like 30 yards. Nobody was
There were a
near
lot of
it.
guys tripping a little bit. I think maybe that surface wasn't that great.
Here's the other thing, too. After that tacky pass interference call, whatever they call it, it was 3 plays later that they called the head-to-helmet deal by the Chiefs.
Right.
Which all of a sudden, all the Eagles were now, also, if you didn't see, when you saw Sirianni and all the Eagles sideline going off about the call, you saw Saquon Barkley going, look, everybody relax.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That was poised. That was mature. Look, it's early. Don't go off on something. Don't get caught up. So even then, everybody says, well, they try to ignore all that. That got in their heads right from the get-go. So fortunately, they ignored it and moved on.
Photos of concession prices at the game were all over social media. 2 that made the headlines were a $59 cocktail.
Wow.
And a $100 caprese crab salad.
Oh man, talking about a captive audience. That's like being an AT&T for a $24 Bloody Mary.
What was your thought with the score bug? The score bug caught some heat online. People thought the graphic at the bottom of the screen was boring, and they like to use the free font or something. They're like, they didn't, they're showing it now up in the studio here, but it didn't bother me at all.
I thought it was all right.
It's not something that I would want to tweet about.
Why do we have to nitpick everything?
I didn't pay attention.
That's social media at its
I'm
worst.
down at distance, time, and the play. I didn't pay attention to it at all.
Here's probably it, Jimmy. For us three, we're fortunate to have a microphone. We can say anything we want. We don't have to go on social media. So I think social media is for a lot of people that want to vent. They want to go nuts.
Yeah, and I thought overall that the coverage was great. The 9,000 cameras they had.
I thought it was too.
There wasn't a play they didn't miss. That there wasn't a camera on. I mean, to that point where I talked about Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Tell everybody to chill. They stayed with him after the play or during that play. And even after the guys are complaining, they found him and great eyes by the director to say, look, stay with him. He's over there. Everybody relax. Just chill out. But the penalties, every one of them, the defensive linemen, what they said, they had like 78, 80 cameras that were out there.
They had a lot of them.
Designated towards certain players, the sidelines and the coaches.
Finally, Barstool Sports, they posted a roundup of Eagle fans that couldn't spell Eagles. That was a trending topic because the mayor of Philadelphia spelled it wrong last month, which was comical. But the good thing is Dick Sirianni's son got it right. So if you got a chance to see that, then that was kind of good.
That's some odd stuff. At our party last night, the fans were doing EAG. They were doing the whole chant.
Yeah. Do you know how to spell it? Okay. You stopped at EAG.
Oh, LES.
Good. Okay. Just checking. Maybe you don't. I mean, you're 92. I mean,
give the mayor a little crash course on how to spell Eagles next time you're in Philadelphia.
But you get it. She just got all excited. You just kind of screwed it up. But if you're a mayor of a city, you can't mess up your chant for your sports team.
No, you can't.
That third grade spelling class, when they came to Eagles, she might have missed that day. But she missed it phonetically.
Missed that one.
She missed something. Hey, we're going to bring back some of the sounds from the weekend, the final call, the local radio, the national, the play of the game, the second best play. And if we have some time, we'll get into Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, some Chiefs sound as well. I think our Phoenix Open sound will move to our rejoin or our Lerner Row. That hole in 116. I was there when it hit.
Wow.
But I wasn't in a place where I could see it.
Oh.
So I was walking, through I think I was on the second level, and because there's so many people from the hall, the walkway to the suites, all you can just see is the
pandemonium,
the cups that are flying in the air. Yeah. But that was kind of cool. Hole in ones at 16 doesn't get any better than that. So we'll get into some of the sounds next. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN 620.
Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale on Bell Road is your home for billiards, poker, and trivia. And the Roc and Manuch Amber on tap. Stop by today and experience top sports viewing, off-track betting, daily specials, and ice-cold Roc and Manuch Amber poured by Dos Equis. Arena Sports Grill open daily until 2 a.m. For their daily specials, head to arenasportsgrills.com. That's Arena Sports Grill in North Scottsdale.
Sun Devil men's and women's basketball are ready for a Big 12 showdown. The jihad at the left elbow. Bounces to think. It's cutting on the left baseline for a slam dunk. Catch Sun Devil men's and women's basketball for a hoops doubleheader. Saturday. Play host to Utah at 2 p.m., followed by the Sun Devil men's basketball team at 6 p.m. when they take on the TCU Horned Frogs. Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Whether your car has accident damage or you need some engine repair, calling Eclipse Auto Body and Repair is always a winning play. Custom paint and bodywork, brakes, oil changes, transmission repairs, and more. Eclipse does it all. They provide a premium level of service, and they work on both foreign and domestic models. Call Eclipse Auto Body at 602-486-8781 to schedule a service today. That's 602-486-8781 at eclipseautobody and repair.com.
Craving tacos? There's one spot in town that everyone can't stop talking about. The Taco Spot. With mouth-watering, authentic Mexican flavors and a modern twist. It's no wonder they're the local favorite.
The Taco Spot has the best tacos I've ever had.
With locations opening all over Arizona, satisfying your cravings has never been easier. Come and experience the tacos to talk about. Enjoy handmade tortillas and fresh made-to-order meals that will leave your taste buds dancing. The Taco Spot, where every bite is a fiesta.
Now, we tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. Learn more at v.org.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift of time or treasure, supporting a community through talent without measure. Here, compassion fuels commitment, finding fulfillment through enrichment, serving and improving. What a way to live, and what a gift it is to give. Find your why and get involved today at ymca.org for a better us.
Now, it's time for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B to give you their top plays and sounds of the weekend on ESPN 620 and 98.7 HD2.
Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. We're also on ArizonaSports.com. You can download us there and check out our podcast, as Connor does a great job posting everything after the show, so check that out. A couple weeks ago, we had Merrill Reese on the show. Actually, last week we had him on the show. And then we had him on during the playoffs. And here is the Eagles' final radio call.
It's over. The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. It's their second Super Bowl win in 7 years. What a game. What a season. What a team. The greatest Eagles team in modern history. Eagles fans, savor it and rejoice.
Are you buying that? Greatest Eagle team in modern history?
Hands down.
Okay.
I wouldn't even question.
Sure. All right.
Yeah. I mean, the last Super Bowl was great, but, there have been in a couple other ones. There were some comparisons yesterday a little bit to Buddy Ryan in the defense.
Yes.
But aside from that, I think with Saquon and this offensive line, and then, of course, the defense, what they were able to accomplish in the playoffs as well as during some of the regular season, I think, clearly the best Eagles team.
We had Mark McMillan on Friday, Rock, and Mark was part of those Buddy Ryan Eagles defenses.
Yeah.
And he said he likened this defense to what you just said there, Rock Rivers, the Buddy Ryan era when they were doing. He said, but the difference is they have a more balanced offense. And not that Randall Cunningham was any better or any less than Jalen Hurts, but just the weapons around him, the running game, the receivers, this huge offensive line, and then the defense to go with it. They didn't quite have that to where they could put it all together and win any championships. They got close.
They do.
The Fog Bowl in Chicago where the Bears went on. But those are some of the things when you think about this Eagles defense, I was one of the best Super Bowl defenses that I've ever seen, aside from the Bears. You think of the Steelers.
84-85 Bears.
The Iron Curtain for the Steelers.
Yes.
And then you think of the Baltimore Ravens in the 2000 Super Bowl.
Doomsday defense of the Dallas Cowboys.
They're right on par with that those kind of defenses.
Yeah, I just hated the garbage points late in that game because they could have pitched a shutout.
Oh,
they really could have. But at the end of the day,
you want to get the other guys
on. They're going to talk about the W.
Yeah.
And if you watch the game, it was such a dominant game in so many levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, like we talked about on the outset of the show, this was kind of like a beatdown in the 80s and 90s. In
Yeah,
Super
it
Bowls.
was very much.
I mean, there were a
similar.
lot of blowouts back then, but we haven't seen those in the past, what 10 years.
And it's interesting that the Eagles beat the dynasty of the Patriots, led by Tom Brady.
Can't say dynasty.
Well, the dynasty of the Patriots, they beat that team.
Yes. Okay, fair.
That's
okay.
what I'm saying. So they stopped that dynasty.
Right.
I think we can stop the conversation that the Chiefs are dynasty.
Well, but they still got a lot of their guys coming back. But again, then they stopped another dynasty on the rise, whether they're on the rise or not, in the Chiefs. So this Eagles last 3 years, we talked about Howie Roseman, and what he's done. So they've stopped a dynasty in the Patriots, and they've also stopped the dynasty in the making or with the Chiefs with this team. So the core nucleus is if they can keep this team together the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they might be on that dynasty.
Yeah, but Manuch, you know how difficult that is in the NFL.
It's so hard. But Howie Roseman has done a phenomenal job.
He has, but you can only pay guys so much. You know that as well.
But the creativity he's had to keep that core nucleus together. Now, you're right. After this year, next year, what kind of money does he have? What kind of trades will he have to make? Or does he build via the draft?
And he's got to find a brand new offensive coordinator
on top of everything.
Because Kellen Moore has gone to the Saints.
All right, let's get some more sound. We consider this, or at least I do, the play of the game, and it's the rookie from Iowa, Cooper DeJean, who was basically, he's 22 years old. It's his birthday, and he does this.
It is 3rd and 16 for the Chiefs. Facing the staunchest defense of the season. Back goes Mahomes. He's rushing. He's looking. It's intercepted. Running with the football to the 25. Down the far side is DeJean. And DeJean is out for a touchdown. Happy birthday, Cooper DeJean.
Did he say DeJean Kaching?
He is going to cash in.
I think he did say that, did he? Boy.
I couldn't tell. You could be right there. The second best play of the game is Devontae Smith, and listen carefully what Mike Quick, who is the partner of Merrill Reese on the Eagles, call on what he calls Devontae Smith.
Hurts back, looking. He is going deep, and it is caught. Touchdown!
The Slim Reaper.
Devontae Smith, 46 yards.
The Slim Reaper. So you got a Southern chain.
I love that. The Slim Reaper. That's awesome.
That was a great throw.
It is.
He threw that on a rope about 56 yards on a line. 46, he brought back about 10. He laid that bad boy out there 2 yards deep in the end zone. So it's about 55, 57 yards on a rope. What a great throw. Great catch. The Slim Reaper.
So let's play some more sound from Jalen Hurts as he's in Disneyland today, or Disney World, one of the two.
Disney World.
Roller coasters and parades and all that kind of stuff, taking advantage of it, and promoting Nike too. You got some good stuff there. But here he is talking about the long journey of this season.
Still processing it. It's been a long journey. It's been a journey of ups and downs and highs and lows, and I've always stayed true to it in the end, and having this vision of just being the best that I can be, and that evolving over time into this desire and this flame inside to win. And you don't do great things without the guys around you. So the effort, the work, always leaning on that, trusting in that, and trusting the process, and staying the course, and sticking to the script.
The thing he talks about, trusting the process, trusting your offensive coordinator, trusting your head coach. He's a hardworking guy. He guy's strong. He works all the time. But I'm so glad he talked about his teammates. It all has to come together. And your whole role as a player is to get to be the best you can be, and then bring in with the other guys. And then you have to be able to trust, and basically you can question what the coaches want to do. That's not the problem. It's just a matter of going, okay, all right, I get it. I see it. And I think he really started to trust Sirianni the last 4 or 5 games, and this team was what 9 or 10 out of 11 or something like that.
Right.
They got on a roll.
They did.
And he went, oh, I guess this is going to work. Yes, it did.
All right. Also, one more with Jalen, as he, he's a big team guy, right? He talks a lot about team, and here he is talking about the total team effort.
It definitely took a team effort, took a group effort, and only thing I can think about is all the effort, all the work that was put in over the course of time. And I think we had a focus group out there. You know, offense was able to score points, to take advantage of opportunities, you know, just enough to put points on the board. And then defense played their ass off. They played how they played all year, you know, and I truly believe offense wins games, but defense wins championships, and how that defense has been able to play. So,
you know, it was interesting. After they lost the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they had a meeting of, hey, we need to get refocused and do it. And then when they faded last year, he said they came together and said they kind of started questioning things. And it was Jalen Hurts that stepped up in that locker room and said, look, we didn't end very well at all. They got hammered in the playoff game by Tampa Bay.
They did.
Got hammered.
Yeah.
And they all had to kind of look at each other, you know, pretty much a little soul search. He said, look, don't lose our focus. We're not a bad team. We just had a bad last 6 games and then got smoked in the playoffs. So you got to give him credit and the leaders on this team to have them come back and not get discouraged after what they went through 2 years ago and then coming up short last year, and to be able to put this together and then have all the minutia surrounding them initially and then catching fire these last, 15, 16 games.
So it's all about the defense, right? We talked quite a bit about that. That was probably the biggest difference here. Here's what Patrick Mahomes, what he had to say on that unbelievable defense that he faced.
Yeah, I think just when defenses are going to play the shell coverage and stay back and play man on third down, I can't make bad plays worse. And I think that's something that you saw today is that there was times when guys aren't open and I need to throw the ball away or check it down and let the other guys make plays happen. Sometimes I get in where I want to make a big play to kind of spark us, and that's something that I've dealt with my entire career. And if I don't show that I will take what's there in the game, the defenses are going to stay in the coverages that they're in. And I think they only blitzed like 2 times, 1 time this entire game today. So they were going to make me be a fundamental quarterback from the pocket and take what's there. And that stuff I have to get better at. No, not really. I mean, it's just the pressure of the Super Bowl. There's always pressure, and you have to find ways to deal with that and find ways to respond to that. And we've had good games, and we've had games like this now, and we'll have to find ways to respond to this adversity. And like I said, hopefully it'll motivate these guys, especially myself, to be even better. And it's a short off season. We have a lot of guys come back. We'll have some guys that won't. But the short off season, we have to get better, and so that hopefully we get this opportunity again that we can go out there and capitalize on it.
Yeah, very interesting. They said we had to throw basically 2 7-man coverages each and every play. They're used to having man-to-man coverage, guys running away from other guys. And with him dropping back going, oh, wow, there's 7 guys or 8 guys there, you know, that are back there. They're not used to that.
Well, plus
4
the
guys
combination of the rush. We talked about it on how much pressure the 3 or 4 rushers put on Mahomes.
But when they blitz a lot, he can find that mismatch.
But they didn't blitz.
So that's what this whole contention was, is having to throw against a normal defense. Quite the difference for him this last game.
All right, up next, Frank Sanders will join us. We always like catching up with him on Monday, get his take from Super Bowl 59. Appreciate it always with Frank to make some time for us. So that's next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's bottom of the hour ESPN 620 Sports Update, sponsored by Twin Peaks Sweethearts Week. I'm Jackson Graw. The Arizona Wildcats climbed 7 spots to number 13 in the latest AP Top 25 men's basketball rankings. Arizona made the biggest leap of this week's AP poll after securing wins over BYU and number 12 Texas Tech. WM Phoenix Open winner Thomas Dietrich shooting 6 under yesterday, a 65 to claim a dominant 7-shot victory in the Phoenix Open, which was his first PGA Tour win. And lastly, your 500 Phoenix Suns will host the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow night before heading to Houston to face the Rockets on Wednesday. It's a Sweethearts Week costume party all week at the 5 Valley Twin Peaks location. Scenic views are calling you. Sweet Peaks Hearts Week. Swing by the scenic views and go check them out today through Friday at Twin Peaks.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Murder and Row is the way to go. Call 977-1900, 977-1900.
Hey, Arizona, it's Mike Wilbon. I've been around sports professionally and personally for a long, long time. And whether you're on a court, in the gym, or just navigating a tough day, you need to stay hydrated. That's where Cocoa 5 comes in. Cocoa 5 isn't your average sports drink, packed with the electrolytes your body craves, but without the artificial junk you don't need. Available at your favorite stores, Cocoa 5, active hydration. Stay hydrated, Arizona.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is always adding exciting cocktails to the menu, like the expertly balanced Sincoro Hall of Fame Margarita. Try it at your local lodge today.
Join us at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf to test drive the new Callaway Elite product line. Experience the future of performance with new shaping, materials, and AI 10X Smart Face, delivering up to 8 yards longer with even more forgiveness. Book your fitting in-store or online. Vans Golf Shops, proudly serving golfers since 1963 with our legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part? We don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at Venezias.com. That's Venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
Did you know VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served?
My message to veterans, active duty, retired, is that really seriously look at the VA home loan program. I've done it 3 times now, so I'm a repeat customer. We found a house here that we felt be a great environment for our children to grow up in. It has been transformational to my family.
To learn more about VA home loans, visit va.gov/home loans.
He played 8 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals. The Sandman.
It is caught. Touchdown Auburn! Sanders caught it! Touchdown Auburn! Frank Sanders from Nick. Auburn's ahead.
Frank Sanders joins Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. right here on ESPN 620.
Hurts is back. Hurts has plenty of time. He's looking. He fires. He completes it. Touchdown!
AJ Brown, how about that? It was a great catch. And our next guest, as you just heard, the big voice guy, always wanted to be a Philadelphia Eagle. I mean, always wanted to be a Philadelphia Eagle, but got stuck with the Cardinals and the Ravens. But Frank, you're more than welcome to jump on the bus. You know, a dynasty in the making. You know, so I'll get you an 81 jersey. You know, a nice 81 Eagles jersey. So. Yeah, I'm driving the bus, so you're more welcome to come on board. Free.
Hey, Rock, I appreciate that so much, man. Happy Monday to you guys, man. Also to all the Eagle fans out there on the planet. Happy Super Bowl win for you guys, man. I did learn 2 things today, Rock. That defense does win championships. Although I'm a wide receiver and offensive guy, I learned that defense does win championships. And the other thing I learned more importantly was, if you got to wear the ring, it's got to have some bling. And, Rock, you did a wonderful job of that yesterday, my man.
You saw that, did you? You like that fake Nick Foles Super Bowl ring that I wore that I would say 9 out of 10 people thought it was real?
Hey, Rock, it has so much bling on it, man. That's the beauty of getting one of the replications of the rings, man. And guess what? It still doesn't lose any sentimental value. You told everyone you're going to get the #1 ring next year in the Jalen Hurts. So look, everything right now is shining on you right now, man, and you deserve it. You really do. You guys been through a lot through Philly, and look, when you win, and now you're a champion, brother, once again.
know what's interesting is I've never worn a ring. I've never been married, so I had that thing on yesterday for a few hours.
Yeah,
man, my finger's killing me today. How do you guys all do it with the ring?
Beer's tired right now.
Now I know why
never
guys
wear rings.
Now
ever.
I know why guys don't wear them.
Yeah.
Rock, imagine it with a wife.
Yeah. Oh, it comes with it. Oh, that's what comes with it.
That's what
okay.
comes with it. That's right. Very good answer there, Frank. Hey, you know what? Watching this receiving core of the Eagles, Brown and Devontae and Goddard. I mean, maybe not quite the hype, but I mean, A.J. Brown, to come alive like he has and to kind of keep his poise and realize this is a team game, that being with this Eagles team. Talk about their side, how Jalen Hurts was able to find those guys on a regular basis.
You know what's funny, man? With all the screaming and yelling between those guys, if you want to talk about prima donnas, those guys are definitely some preemies, man, without a doubt. Athletically, some of the best you'll ever find in the NFL across the board. I mean, size, agility, speed, quickness. But I mean, and they run great routes. They're good at what they do. They really are. They're really good at what they do. So it makes it that much more difficult. But when you have a quarterback that can make the throws he can, a two-dimensional type quarterback that allows you to get one-on-one on the outside because the defense has to pay attention to you a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier for the wide receiver. I mean, that in itself is the difference between watching our wide receivers with the Arizona Cardinals and watching the receivers with the Philadelphia Eagles. They function extremely well from a two-dimensional position with the quarterback. And look, those guys, when I made plays, kudos to them.
The other thing too, when you look at the lack of running game by the Eagles, and if you look at it, he had 72 yards. The other two, Gainwell and Barkley, had 67. And you look at the one sack. I mean, really 62 net yards rushing aside from Jalen Hurts. He pretty much put this team on his back. And I thought Spagnuolo, his whole initiation was to stop the running game and put the onus on Jalen Hurts, but he stepped up and made it happen.
Oh, he really did, man. That was really just a good display of his talents and ability. But as an overall coaching staff, there's between a game plan and actually a game plan working and then being able to go out and actually execute it against the defense in real time is two different situations. And if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles game plan, it absolutely worked. And Jalen did it based upon his ability just to be smart in the pocket, not to throw the ball away when he didn't have to. If he saw opening lane, he took the opening lane, ran down the field and got some yardage, and then he was pretty smart, didn't turn the ball over much. And I think that in itself shows, maturity, his mentality about what it was going to be like when he got back. He wasn't the same. It wasn't his first time. He knew what to expect. But the game plan they had versus the front four or the Chiefs was just it was on point.
Frank Sanders is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Frank, please tell me, with all of the rule changes that the NFL has done to make offense the standard in the National Football League, when did defense become fashionable again?
Look, you had to find a way to keep up with these guys. And I think just the more athleticism of the defense, the defensive players, and what they've been able to do has just really changed. It's become kind of equal. Jimmy B, when you look at it, just the quality of players on defense, the size, the strength, the speed, how beautiful it looks when it's playing. Remember, when you're trying to stop some of the quarterbacks that we have in the NFL, you got to have that shine on the other side. The speed and the athleticism of the receivers and the running backs right now in the NFL it's just at another level. I mean, these guys are 6'5", running 4.3s. The DJ Metcalf of the world. It's a plethora of those guys. The A.J. Brown, and you got quarterbacks that are dual threat. So when you go get a defensive set that can match those guys and go out and kind of do their part and do what they're assigned to do, which we saw yesterday, a young athletic defensive line, good cornerbacks in the field, smart coaching, and good defensive-minded players. That's when it becomes beautiful because you're watching a chess match happen and not checkers, and I think we saw that yesterday.
Frank, it's interesting to see that four-man rush, as you allude to. They had blitzed maybe one time, if none. But we just had a soundbite on before you came on in reference to Patrick Mahomes talking about how they ran a shell defense with 7 men dropping all the time. He's not used to having a regular 7-man drop or 8-man drop because of all the blitz packages and all the things coming at him. And with his receiving core, they find the mismatches, and that's why they've had so much success. I find it a little amusing. He had to drop back and read like an actual defense with 4 men rushing. He wasn't used to that. He said he had to do a better job. So their whole offense is predicated off of blitz packages, man-to-man mismatches. I think Andy Reid needs to go back and just say, how about just like run some 7-on-7s and have success?
You know what? That would be the case, but it's often. You know what happens when you get used to what you normally see? You expect everybody to do what they normally did. And I think that's just one of the things, where you watch Philadelphia front four did not have to do anything. It's the same front four mindset that we've seen over the past couple of years. When the teams that have won the Super Bowls and have dominated on the defensive side, their front four could literally go in by themselves and just dominate any offense, any set, running the ball from a defense, from a running back perspective, or just putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback because he's that elite. And I think that is a good formula if you can get that front four and those guys to come out and play. And it's just it was a beautiful thing to watch, just to watch the dominance of a defensive front four go out and take again. Patrick Mahomes is like literally one of the best, smartest, quarterbacks that we've seen play this game, and he's been pretty good at it. But when you've won it the way he's won it with his legs and added that dimension to it, when they take that away, you got to sit back in the pocket and read. And that's a different thing from a quarterback.
Frank, take me to the wide receiver perspective right now of the Kansas City Chiefs. If you were playing wide out, what do you do? Do you go back and tell Mahomes, hey, I'm not getting open, I got to get open on this route? Because it seemed like everything was breaking down.
It's called a pass rush.
I know that.
It's a pass rush.
So all you have is, here's what happens, Jimmy B. When you're out running your route and you turn back around and your quarterback sack.
Yes.
Or when you're running a 3-yard, you're running a 10-yard out, and I turn my head and I see my quarterback rolling out to the left, I got to go back to the side and grab that tablet and say, what happened? Like, what? Now, did I look at the tablet and see that my quarterback just got, he got hella pressured on the right side, so he couldn't look to my right. Or if I ran a slant route or a dig route, he's not there. Now we're more into scrambling drills than we are just our normal offense. It tells me that the pressure's too much. I mean, it tells me that our offensive line's getting dominated, and I'm hoping that we make adjustments with keeping guys in the block, bringing a guy in the zip thing and zoom, which is motions that will allow him to chip and help the offensive line get some help. We didn't see any of that adjustment. That's the adjustment you would typically make when the defensive line is dominating. And you find some guy to come in, or extra tight end, go into a 3-receiver set with a tight end that can kind of help chip. That didn't happen yesterday, and I think that's just the difference in game planning. And when you see the adjustments that need to be made not be made as a receiver, you're having to make adjustments on your own. So we're running scrambling drills all day, and we were down 24-zip by halftime. We're in 2-minute offense the whole back half of the game.
What do you think was said at halftime? I mean, what could be said? What do you think Reed and the coordinators?
No pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, no pressure. We've been here before.
Okay.
You know how that is. No pressure.
I do. I've played a lot of football.
He was handing out those towels, Frank. Remember?
No. Rock, you always get the champion speech, man, when you got to drink the last couple of beers. Don't worry about it. We got 3 more rounds. There's no, hey, brother, we got 3 more rounds. I've already paid for them. You got to chug them. Don't. Just hang in there, Rock. You got it. We're gonna be okay. When the food comes, we're gonna be okay. Then we'll rally back up and we'll finish the rest of this. You know how that is, Rock.
Yeah, I got it.
Way to work him into the team. Way to work him into the team fold there, Frank.
Look at you. That's awesome.
It's the same speech. We don't shortchange it. We're gonna get you to the finish line, brother, no matter what. If you're on this side of the bottle or that side of the football field, we're gonna get you to the finish line. But the reality, man, is when you look at them, you don't panic when you got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Why would you panic? You don't panic when you got Chris Jones in a defense like that. And we're 2-time Super Bowl champs. You don't panic in those moments. You hope you get out, and then you find a little luck the first couple of series. We stunk it up the first half. We don't know why. Maybe we had too many beignets, or maybe we was drinking too much, or whatever it was. Then now we're ready to go out and play and get our feet wet. And that's the second half adjustment in any football game at any time. You have to make those adjustments. And unfortunately, just the reality was that Philly never let off the gas pedal. They stayed on the gas pedal. They stayed accurate. They didn't make any mistakes. They didn't give the ball back. They didn't give up the big play until the end of the game. And so that's the part of, great coaching, staying to the end of the game. But they just was so much more dominant and so much better than the Chiefs was on every side of the football field. Every game you want to name, they beat him in every part of it.
Frankie, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks for letting me be part of the locker room.
Brother, you rock the ring. You are a fan and a fan player. You are a media member of one of the greatest programs on the planet, Rock. You've been doing this for years. You are one of us.
Man,
Always welcome to the locker room,
I'm just so
brother.
glad.
Always.
I'm just so glad we have advertisers that can pay you for coming on the show. That's just so good. It works out perfect.
Frank, was it Beignet or Ben Gay? We just wanted to make sure. Which one was it?
They needed both of them out. They had Ben Yates the first part, but they needed Ben Gay in the second part. It was bananas.
That's good stuff. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. That's Frank Sanders joining us here. You can follow him on X and Twitter at Frank Sanders 81. He's pretty active on social. Obviously, he's my one guy that's following me, I guess. So saw my bling that I
checking
was
you
wearing
out
yesterday.
Yeah.
So
the big ring.
Coming up, our Learner in Row 1 call. You're going to hear from the WM Open, the winner who, thank goodness, won me some money. It was good stuff.
There you go.
We'll continue on here from the studios of ESPN 620.
Get ready, Scottsdale. On March 15th, the Celebrity Wine and Spirits Festival comes to the Scottsdale Civic Center. Sip and savor from more than 40 celebrity wines and spirits while enjoying live appearances from legends like Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Neil Giraldo, star of the TV series Criminal Minds, Joe Mantegna, WWE's Brie Garcia, NBA All-Star Tom Chambers, and more. VIP tickets for early access, private lounge, and more at civiccenterlive.org. It's the Celebrity Wine and Spirits Festival.
The Harlem Globetrotters 2025 World Tour is here, and we're loving hearing from our fans that you love seeing us play. You love seeing the dunks, alley-oops, long shots, trick shots, the buzzer beaters, and all the cool tricks. And we can't wait to bring all our history and all the laughs. We're coming to Desert Diamond Arena on February 21st. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for tickets to the 2025 World Tour, presented by Jersey Mike Subs.
Join the team at the largest towing company in the state, All City Towing. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service personnel. Enjoy benefits like the state's most advanced towing equipment, set work schedules, a healthy 401k employer match, health benefits, employer paid life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Ready to take your career to the next level? Visit us at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is on the move.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Something amazing is happening in workplaces everywhere. Devices are learning how people work and adapting to help them get more done. That's because CDW is modernizing experiences with Dell's intelligent portfolio of devices. Thanks to built-in security and AI capabilities, your teams can work smarter wherever they may be. Dell and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
It's the Learner and Row 1 call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Learner and Row, voted Arizona's best law firm.
It's the shot. Yeah, so I think everything he's doing is obviously pretty good. He should just keep doing that. World class.
Thomas Dietrich, the winner of the 2025 WM Phoenix Open, the first sound you heard was yesterday. He made birdie on the 16, real close to getting a hole one. Then you heard the final putt on 18. And, the WM Open, the officials, they went into this season not bigger, just better. And I think all the signs certainly point to that direction, as a lot of the players who, maybe shared some complaints last year, praised the Thunderbirds for what they did this year. I thought that the new fan entrance near 18 tee box was tremendous. Yep. It relieved a lot of pressure from the main entrance. I think the all digital tickets it was a good call. The removal of the good any day ticket was also pretty good. I thought there were some new experiences out there that were really neat. I took the first time in a long time to walk around some areas. I was in 9, had never been in 9 before, but I think the Thunderbirds and the staff out there at TPC Scottsdale did a really good job of regulating the foot traffic and where you could go, where you couldn't go. Now, prices were a lot higher, but I think that maybe helped to control the crowd. There were some, few spots that had some bottlenecks and things of that sort. Were you out there?
Yeah.
You actually went out there?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Monday and Tuesday after we got done with the show.
Oh, God.
Why doesn't that count?
It doesn't count.
Why doesn't it count?
Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
God.
Why doesn't that count?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Jeez,
the real tournament we're talking about,
Jimmy.
Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday is the WM.
I'm well aware of that.
The practice
you
rounds.
asked if I was there.
No,
I
I
said
didn't.
yes. I went out there after we got done with the show.
Okay. Why don't you just take over? You're going to drive tomorrow, and you can talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll be off tomorrow. But no, there was a hole one on 16. There was a hole one on 16, which was pretty cool. Like I said, I was there, but I didn't get to see it because of where I was standing. I heard the crowd and the rush, and then everybody was like, who was that? And no one really knew who he was either. But here's how it all went down. This was on the second round. This was on Friday, and this was a slam dunk hole in one.
Just seconds ago. Here, though, setting up.
Go ahead and just do that. A slam dunk.
Griot. I think is how you say Griot. Griot. It's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's a Griot?
Yeah.
I don't know. I looked it up today. and
Emiliano
Griot.
That ball went
Griot.
down and it spun around. Look, it was spinning as it was going down. As he jarred
slammed.
Slammed it. The ball's moving.
So prior to that, Ace, there had been 1,054 tee shots since the last hole in 116 at TPC Scottsdale. So, it was interesting because they had a lot of signs up there where it says if you throw, you go. Those signs were everywhere, but I didn't see anybody get kicked out. So
might have been a little bit.
The signs were there.
I love the sign
though. If you throw, you go.
Might have been a mass riot for anybody to get kicked out from that standpoint.
Funny.
But Dietrich, what a unbelievable round he had. And like I told you before that, I put some money on him because a caddy on Monday told me that he had been playing so well, and they're like, hey, he's going to finish top 5. And, I bet him to win top 5 and top 10. On Friday, I decided to cash out early because he had been in the lead by 3 or 4 strokes, I think, on Friday. And I'm like, there's no way he's going to hold this into the weekend because Scheffler was getting hot. He was going through a little run there. And I was like, all right, I'll cash out, make a few bucks. And then, sure enough, he goes on and wins. So I got fortunate on top 5 and top 10.
And he's had a history. He's had a history of fading on some tournaments as well too.
I was going to ask you though, Rock, if you would not have cashed out, how much more money would you have made if you did not cash out?
His odds were 9,000.
Wow.
$2,000-ish?
No. Here's the deal, guys. I'm not a big bettor. I put $10 down. I would have won 900.
Yeah.
And some change. But if I would have put $100, then that's where the money's at. That's like Connor. He's the big guy. He puts the money down like that. But no, I cashed out on Friday, and I think I got like 130 or somewhere around there for a $10 bet.
So you made out pretty good, Rock.
Yeah, and then I won. I think I won 175 for top 5, and then another 65 or 75. Just putting $10 bets.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and then for the Eagles, I bet in August or July to win the Super Bowl, but I cashed out early on them. Got like 450. I would have won like 1,000. I just am impatient. I just want to build my account up because I've got it so far down.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready to get the NFL season going again. But I know where it's all going to go in March Madness. I'm going to lose all that.
You'd rather get the money now, invest the interest, right? That 0.5% interest.
Yeah, the 0.5 interest. Interac, need a check, make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always at LunaRoad.com. They can help. Again, that's one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. We got nothing tonight locally. We can look ahead till tomorrow when Arizona's at Kansas State. And the Grizzlies will be hosting the Suns. I should say the Suns will be hosting the Grizzlies here on the sister station, the mothership, Arizona Sports 98.7.
All right, guys, our State 40 Roofing. It's your call question of the day for a free quote, repair, or installation. Head to state40roofing.com. Follow them on social media by searching hashtag #SexyRoofStatus. What was the main key? The main key for the Eagles to win over the Chiefs, was it the pass rush / pressure on Mahomes? Jalen Hurts' overall QB play, had the ball for 37 minutes, or only one turnover? Again, just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter and you can vote. Jimmy, where we stand on this?
Well, it's pretty simple, to be honest with you. I think if you watch the game for its entirety, you would have gone with answer number one. Pressure on Mahomes. 83.3% pressure on Mahomes. Jalen Hurts' overall play, 16.7%. Goose eggs for had the ball 37 minutes, only one turn.
The other thing, too, is the thing about having the ball for so long in the first half, that wore the Chiefs' defense down.
Absolutely.
So they were pretty much gassed coming out in that second half. And then not getting the opening drive, that being the Chiefs, and taking that ball down and score kind of set the tone. But I will say this, to hear Patrick Mahomes say, yeah, I got to do a better job of adjusting to just 7 guys dropping back into coverage. They haven't seen that all year long. So it kind of caught me off guard, like, well, Andy Reid's offense is built on mismatches, blitz packages, and finding those weaknesses. So he's like, well, shell coverage, dropping 7. I said, well, that's what most teams normally do. But their offense is predicated on their speed, running away from guys, whether horizontally or physically. So just kind of caught me off guard, like, you haven't seen a normal defense in probably, 17, 18 games or what have you. And there they were, just 4 guys rushing. He had a hard time reading the defense in those zone coverages and his receivers adjusting to zone coverages.
And the Eagles never blitzed. Never blitzed.
And that's what predicates their offense. So I think Andy Reid did not do a very good job of adjusting to a base, solid 4-3 front when you go, wow, no blitzing, and you had a hard time with that defense.
You don't think somebody wants to make a run at Nick Fangio?
To
be a head coach again?
Oh, I think they will. I mean, and now whether he wants to be a head coach again is the question. He loves Philadelphia. He loves this. He may not be that head coach material, but who knows? I mean, they all love him in the league.
Are the Eagles going to just kind of promote somebody within?
Interesting question.
Coordinator? Oh, they could.
What's out there? So, they got projected cap space. They only got $3.7 million, which is ranked 22nd for next year. But I'm sure some things can happen. They got a few free agents, Bonds, Sweat, Williams, but they're poised, as Jax mentioned earlier, to do this again, make another run, or at least get back close.
Yeah.
So, hey, we'll do it again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We'll be back here at our studios of ESPN 620. Kyle Vandenbosch, head coach at GCU, Bryce Drew, Kyle Dodd will join us, Bob McManaman, and more. That's tomorrow from 1 to 4 right here on ESPN 620 and 98.7